Okay, looks like we're live. Double check something real quick. How are y'all doing while I do this?
Living life.
Doing the thing there. Okay.
I see that we are live.
We are. Yeah, I just had to double check. All right, cool. We are gonna do this correctly. Or not correctly, because we're already not doing it correctly. Because I screwed everything up. Yeah, I screwed everything up. I didn't have it ready to go. I didn't know how many options we were gonna have to jump into. Anyway, my name is Kurt Jangle, and I am the only adult on the internet. No rage bait, no hot takes, just an honest appreciation for the things I enjoy and measured critiques when those things can do better. Today is Friday, April 18th, 2025. This is the pregame. Woo! All right. Today in a pregame, I am joined by Troubles. Say hi, Troubles.
What's up?
Let the people know a little bit about yourself.
I'm just an idiot that talks online. I got a couple podcasts, TWW, From Crockett to Chaos. I'm everywhere. Usually Troubles Weekly.
Nice. And we got Zerpie. How you doing?
What's going on, guys? I'm Zerpie. I co-host a podcast about Big Boss Man called the Bubba Cast with his daughter, Lacey Trailer. And also I do action figure photography on Instagram, Zerpie_MD.
Nice. Good stuff. All right. And now here in the pregame, because this is episode 0, we're doing kind of a pilot episode. It is mainly to make sure my equipment works, and I think it kind of does at this point. So we're just going to go with it because I'm tired of waiting around. The idea of the pregame is we are trying to get you ready for the weekend. And to do that, we get together. I get together with a couple of people, talk about a little bit about the news going on for the week. We're going to jump into one big topic. And we're also going to enjoy some beverages and snacks. So to kick that off. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Let's get everybody cracking them open.
The last drink was a beer. This one, I'm drinking a LaCroix.
You got a LaCroix? Okay, cool. I've got a False Idol. Friends Don't Lie. This is a local brewery about a mile away from me. Picked these up on the way over.
Nice.
So I haven't had this one though, so it's actually going to be a new to me.
And I just have H2O.
That's good. That's good. I had nothing wrong with water. I mean, this is mainly H2O, just hops and stuff. Got that, and we are going to be talking some wrestling today, so I had to pick up some hummus, as is my usual wrestling snack for some reason. I don't know when that happened.
I like it. That's good.
That's
a good wrestling snack.
Yeah,
it's a good snack for any occasion.
It really is. Sweet chili.
This episode is brought to you by hummus.
Yeah, hummus.
Just in general.
The hummus among us.
Also brought to you by the oil aisle in your local retail store. Why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That can be a drink too.
Yeah, we can drink it. Well, I've
drank not gonna end well.
I've drank so much.
Not the best drink.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not your dad.
This is true. You are indeed not my dad, so I can drink all the oil I want.
Mm.
Why would I want to?
I'm, again, not your dad. I'm not going to tell you why or why not.
Can't disclose that information.
Fair enough.
All right, so I wanted to kick this off. So there's been, let's say, what's a good word for? I don't want to say drama. There have been mixed motions about the Nintendo Switch 2 launch or pre-order launch and the pricing. I don't know if y'all had any ideas about that, what you thought about that.
I think Nintendo is doing their part to make people more comfortable with the idea that video games are just going to be pricier now. They're going to cost more. Mm-hmm. And I think Nintendo has so much good faith with fans that they're the ones who can kind of direct the market, saying, we're going to go ahead and do it first. Video games are going to cost more now, and that's just how it is. Everyone, are you on board? And if you're not, they're just going to do it anyway. Not saying it's a good thing, but that's where the industry is going, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think, it seems like Nintendo's kind of always at the front of this kind of thing. It's not always the front of technology or good games, but it's always at the front of the marketing side of games. I feel like Super Nintendo did a lot of this stuff, right? Like, hey, it's Super Nintendo, come, spend more money, new system. So I'm not surprised. I'm bummed out that it's $90 for a freaking game. I think that's a little steep in my opinion, but people are going to pay it. They will. It's like the same thing people said when they became $60. Well, I'm not going to pay that. Yeah, you will. If you want to play the game bad enough, you will. I personally probably won't pick one up for a while. I usually don't, but I don't know. I think people are freaking out a little more than maybe they should, but I definitely see their issue.
You can actually see over my shoulder, that's my Super Nintendo right there on that TV.
Oh, yeah.
I've got also the Sega Genesis right there.
Nice.
My favorite of all time.
But Nintendo they're really notorious about never lowering the prices on their IP games as well. They very rarely go on discount. They just kind of, they've set the standards for themselves. And but I'm really interested though to see, they've promised that they are going to counteract the problem they had with the original Switch, with the scalpers and everything, and not having enough consoles available at stores, at retail, for everyone to pick up. They're saying, nope, we're just going to manufacture more this time around. So we'll see. I wonder if it's because the same thing happened with Sony and the PS5 when that came out. You had to just kind of get lucky to get one at the right time. So we'll see if they're actually in stores. Because I remember even those when they were coming out with the retro consoles, the little the mini SNES and mini NES, those were hard to find in stores. I had to wait like a year before I got one of those.
Oh yeah, that was. I was really excited about those, and then I realized almost immediately, like it was like I'm not getting one. It's going to be impossible because they were already on. We were on eBay the next day for double the price.
Yeah,
and then the day after that for triple the price.
I held out for a long time. And then they were kind of easy to find at the end.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that did kind of happen. They're like, okay, we'll do another run of those, and nobody bought that run because everybody had already paid $500 for one for some reason.
Yeah,
and all those games, basically all the games on the mini console, showed up on Nintendo Switch Online anyway.
Yeah, except for there are some that I think they were holding out on, Final Fantasy titles. Any Mega Man titles didn't show. I can't remember if those were on the mini consoles, but I know those. I was wondering why there was no Mega Man on the little virtual consoles, but it's because they sold it as a whole bundle.
Oh yeah,
multiple bundles.
Well, that and Capcom knows they can still sell Mega Man games.
Yeah,
they can sell them individually, or they can put them in compilations whenever they want.
And they got me because I bought that first compilation that has like all the NES games on it.
Oh,
and
so
then started playing them, and I was like, "Oh yeah, these are really fucking hard." I'm sorry, these are very hard. Sorry, I will watch my language.
That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, that's all right. But yeah, no, I agree. I agree on all those points. I think it is definitely. I think it actually is kind of making Rockstar take a big sigh of relief because I think they were already planning on like, okay, GTA 6.
Yeah.
Is coming out, and we're going to have to raise the price on that because it's, they've taken 15 years, 10 years now to get that out and spent more than the GDP of a small country just to produce that game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're going to have to raise the price of that to at least $80, $90. And now Nintendo's like, oh, yeah, our new console is going to be, almost $500. And Mario Kart is going to be $80.
Yeah.
And I want to know what an $80 Mario Kart is. Right,
now, I will give them credit, though, with the previous Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, where they were constantly updating it and adding so much to the game. So I'm like,
Yeah.
They do really give you your money's worth. There's always new content. Of course, they're still going to milk you for money. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, if you want all the content, you have to sign up for a subscription.
Yeah, you
But
gotta do the
it's an
Nintendo Online.
all-encompassing anything, and everything. So I was okay with it. But yeah, it's everything is just built to how much more can we make off of this instead of just the initial, here's the price tag to buy the game.
Yeah.
And that's just been the video game industry for years now.
Yeah. Basically. Shout out real quick, Misfit Mess and Books and Body Slams in the chat. I don't know if y'all can see that on your end. But...
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
I have the Twitch pulled up on the other screen.
Okay, cool. I just, like I said, this is episode 0, and this is why this is episode 0, because we're hammering some stuff out live while we're doing it. Thanks for everybody joining in.
Low key, I like it.
Yeah, good stuff. Have you either watched the any of the information for Marathon, the new Bungie game?
No, I have not seen it.
Okay. I was hoping. I'm not really ever been a big first-person shooter fan. Played Halo a little bit with friends. It was fun. I never really got into Destiny because I just didn't like, the idea of like, oh yeah, you just run around and shoot stuff and collect more stuff. So you can shoot stuff better. Like, there's no story of that. I need some hook, a story hook. For some reason I'm doing this kind of thing. But I've seen some of the initial gameplay footage for Marathon. It looks like a first-person shooter. I like the vibes it's putting out.
Okay.
If you just do a video game based on vibes alone,
I'm looking at the trailer right now.
Yeah, it looks like if you took old school like PlayStation, what was that? Wipeout, the hovercraft racer game.
Yeah,
and just made a shooter. Yeah, those vibes, but with like a shooter. So like that weird neon blue and yellow techno 90s dance music club vibe.
So
I'm getting kind of
was that enough
Mirror's
adjectives?
Edge vibe too.
Okay.
Interesting. So is this is going to be a competitive multiplayer?
Competitive extraction. I don't know about competitive, but extraction shooter. So like as far as I understand, the idea is like you got a couple teams and you're trying to, loot and get items. And if you die, you lose everything. And whoever killed you can just take all your stuff. And if they get extracted at the end of the round, they get all of your loot and you don't get anything.
I had to swear off competitive multiplayer games after Overwatch because I would get so salty that I would sit there and go, am I having fun? Is this a fun time? It's like, no, I'm angry and I'm yelling. And I obviously cannot handle this. I've stopped. Yeah. And then, of course, when Marvel, Marvel Rivals is the game? When that came out, I'm like, well, that's cool. That's Overwatch just with actual IP I'm familiar with. But I know better, so I've avoided it.
Yeah, I did. Jumped into Helldivers too because I was like, okay, it's not competitive. It's just
Yeah, I like that. It was co-op.
And I was gonna co-op. It's gonna be fun. I can jump in with whoever, and we're gonna have a good time. And as I was getting to learn it, like first couple rounds, I'm in. I'm just learning controls and hitting buttons and doing whatever. And somebody I'm playing with is just griefing me. Just like, hey man, I'm getting to it. Like, don't worry about it. Like, dude, calm down. It's a video game.
Yeah.
It's not even a serious video game. Like, it's Helldivers. It's dumb. It's intentionally dumb. Have some fun with it. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to play this unless it's with my friends anymore. And then like I got one good night with my friends. They're like, oh yeah, we're going back to whatever other game they were playing. I can't remember right now. But I was like, oh, come on, man.
That was one of those games where a couple of friends were playing it and I'm like, yeah, I'll buy it. If you guys are going to be playing it a bunch, like I'll jump in with you guys. So I bought it and I think we played it twice.
Yeah.
It was fun though. I really enjoyed
I had a great time. I mean, it was worth
co-op game.
Yeah. And And it ties back into kind of what my feelings are overall about price hikes with video games. Because I bought the nice like super deluxe edition of Helldivers too. Because I was like, well, I gotta have all the extra armor and stuff. Like I'm not gonna not have that extra credits or whatever. So I bought that and I spent like $60 for the deluxe edition. And I played a couple times. I got one really good, fun night with my friends, and I was like, well, even if they don't play anymore, like I got $60 worth of entertainment out of it. Like that's a night I stayed in. That's a night I probably would have gone out, spent that much anyway, just going out and eating and getting beers or whatever. Like,
yeah, and that's how you have to quantify things these days, right?
No.
Like, was it worth that price point? Well, okay, it sounds like it was.
Yeah, I just like, like $80 for Mario Kart Worldwide or whatever they're calling it. Pretty steep, but I've been playing Mario Kart 8 for however long the Switch has been out. Like,
exactly,
and it even started on Switch. That's a Wii U game.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then near the end they're like, oh, we're going to release like 200 more tracks for it over the a year.
Well, it's the same thing with GTA 5. That game has spanned across 3 generations of consoles, and it's still going. And so the idea that, okay, they're going to ask for a higher price points, it's like, well, if you played GTA 5, you got your money's worth out of that.
Yeah.
For years, they're constantly adding so much to that. And I just playing the story mode, I think I played that story mode 3 times.
Oh, wow.
I really enjoyed it. Just that's single player.
You're the first person I've ever met that's admitted to actually playing the story in a GTA game.
I was watching people play like the online multiplayer stuff and just trying to figure out the controls. And I'm like, did you not play the campaign? They're like, no. Why would I play the campaign?
No,
I'm like,
I put in all the cheats. I put in all the cheats. I got a rocket launcher, a triple jump. Like, that's all I care about. That's what I did. I either did that or I just I stole the first motorcycle I found and just ran around with it.
Yeah. Just use it as a sandbox.
Yeah. Books and Body Slams in chat. GTA has a story?
It does, and it's good.
Apparently.
We have actions and everything. It's fantastic.
Mm. Oh, speaking of stories, there's a story I'd like to tell y'all about a little show called WCW Monday Nitro.
Me and Troubles know a lot about that show.
Yeah.
Oh, too damn much.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if y'all want to tell the story, you can. Y'all want to.
If you want to hear the story of it,
yeah, that's why.
There's
if
a
you want to hear
podcast
if you want to hear the story of it, the real story.
From Crockett to Chaos is a podcast you should definitely check out.
Mm-hmm.
That Troubles hosts.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's all right. No, come on now. Now you got the platform right now. Now plug it a little bit.
So in 1995.
It started in 1995, but in classic Troubles fashion, let's go way too far back and just move ourselves forward.
How did
plotting
we
way
get
along?
95?
God, yeah.
So at some point, Eric Bischoff convinced Ted Turner to give him money and a prime time spot, live television.
And the meeting was about Chinese television rights. That's my favorite part. It had nothing to do with anything.
Wait, say that again?
Yeah, so originally the meeting that Eric was going into to talk to Ted was literally just about Chinese television distribution rights. That was it. It was just
I've never heard that. Well, the WWE Network never told me that part of it.
Right. So you got the whitewash version. The real version was Eric was going into a meeting in I want to say early 95. Again, just gonna sign a piece of paper. He just needed Ted to agree to it. That's why they were meeting one-on-one. And he goes in this meeting. He's got all of his info in his little briefcase, and he's like, "I'm ready to talk Chinese TV." Second, he sits down. Ted Turner goes, "Eric, what can we do to compete with Vince?" And he's like, and that's when he said, "Give me Mondays on TNT live prime time, and we will beat Vince McMahon." And he straight up was like, "I lied through my teeth. I didn't think it was." I mean, what?
He acted like he had a plan for it. He had no plan.
And no plan. But even without a plan, he still managed
It
to.
worked.
Yeah, he beat WWF in the ratings for 83 weeks, famously. Was the longest running primetime televised wrestling program on Turner Networks until Wednesday night. AEW Dynamite has surpassed WCW Nitro.
And Books and Body Slams in the chat does mention, excuse me, his name is Bitch Off.
That is true. Yeah, we were mispronouncing that. I would also say Piss Off.
Yes.
But that is what we're actually here to talk about and celebrate. That AEW has made it, has surpassed all marks that I think everybody set for them, and said that you're not going to get past this. You're not going to get past this. You're not going to survive. You can't stand up to the juggernaut. That is
not only did
Company.
They surpass it, they surpassed it with one of the best episodes of Dynamite I have ever seen.
Hands down.
An amazing episode.
There were points during, and I'm going to skip ahead just real quick. I've seen Ospreay and Takeshita one-on-one before. I still don't know what I saw that night. There were points I had to remind myself to actually breathe. I had to manually breathe. Just because I was just like, I could not believe the pace that they were going at.
One of those where you're jumping out of your seat, you're putting your hands in your hair, you're like, what the heck? So many false finishes and just like second wins, and he jumped up out of that one. He's just constantly just hitting. So good. Yeah. I loved it.
Just wait. Oh, I could not. I probably should have taken notes, but in the moment I was like, I'm not going to take myself away from what
that was the match where I put down my phone and I was just focused.
I took notes in my head, and the note was just, this rules a lot. That's
this rules a lot.
I went back the next day and watched it again, and then recreated a spot in my action figure photography.
And it was so amazing.
Yeah, you got to do that. So yeah, you want to do just a quick rundown of that episode and just talk about that episode? Probably not going to be a big thing going forward in this show, but like we got to talk about it because it's a landmark. It's a landmark episode, and they came into that. They knew that, and they delivered on that promise, which doesn't always happen.
Rarely does it ever happen. Actually, I mean, usually they jump the shark before the show even starts. Yeah, like the TNA January 4th, 2010 show. Like they did not do that. It delivered.
Oh yeah, but yeah, they kicked off strong. First of all, I love theaters. I love theaters as wrestling venues.
This venue looked great.
Having a stage with a ramp butted to the ring. I didn't like that at first. I saw that on some old WCW stuff, and I was like, it looks old and outdated. I don't like that. Then I saw AEW start doing it. I was like, no, it's good. That's cool. Yeah.
It just reminds me of Sting versus Cactus Jack when he back body dropped Cactus right there on that ramp.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that like the Gulfport Auditorium? Like it was in like Gulfport, Mississippi or some crap.
Yeah, it was Beach Bash. It was before Bash of the Beach. It was the original name, Beach Bash.
Yeah.
Whatever. Beach Blast or something
Beach
like that.
Blast. Yes, sir.
Well, that brings up another good point. Like I like smaller venues, theaters, places with it's just a nice aura to the building. But also,
I said on Threads, it's just so punk rock. It feels like to me.
Yeah, exactly that too. But also in smaller towns, because for years it's like, Monday Night Raw is coming from Dallas, Texas, and then now it's like, AEW will be like from the Curtis Colwell Center in Grapevine or Garland, and like, that's cool. That's not a big town. Like they're just going to places. They're going to like we're just going to have wrestling here, and people are going to show up. And like it does tie back to that, like in the territory days in the 80s, you didn't always get the sportatorium. Sometimes you had to go to, you had to go to like the Grand Prairie, Texas, right outside of Dallas. And
Right,
whatever, the Civic Center.
Well, that's what I was surprised
like
with
that.
AEW. The last time I saw them, they're like, this is our first time in Atlanta in like 5 years. And I was like, that's not true. I've been to other shows. And then I realized that they were technically going to outside Atlanta. They were in like Duluth.
Yeah.
The last couple times I saw
Or
them.
Marietta.
Yeah. So then they're like, oh no, we're back now in Atlanta proper because it was
properly in Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah. The first year, I think that's when they were in Atlanta when Cody fought Wardlow in the cage match. Where he did
You're right.
Yeah.
First ever AEW cage match.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
that was a tall cage. That was a weird choice for them. First cage.
But
Really tall.
Cody's not going to be in a small town venue.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, well, no, if I'm going to be on the show, it's going to be in Atlanta.
Well, I also did see
My
him go through a
hometown.
flaming table in Duluth. So he did go play the
He did. And he was
smaller
like, well, I'm
venue.
not going to Duluth again. I got to a flaming table.
There's still Dermis in that building somewhere. Oh, Cody Rhodes, baby.
Cody Dermis. Oh. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked.
We're trying to talk about this episode. We're going
not that
back
we had
and
a
back.
track really, but we're already getting sidetracked. We're getting on Cody Island. Nobody wants to be there.
Cody didn't even want to be there.
Good on
Cody's
him.
not there anymore.
Cena doesn't even want to be there.
Don't. Oh, now that's
I don't even know what that is.
that's a whole other tangent. Like with the, there has. I don't want to get into this, but there has to be a point when somebody that works in PR for the Fed just needs to tell people to shut up.
Yeah, they had a bad week. They had a really bad week of PR.
They are. We know. Okay, let's do 3 minutes on WWE's PR disaster this week because we have to touch on it while we're talking about it. They're going into their biggest event of the year, and they won't shut up about AEW. First of all,
Well, they're the underdogs, Kurt. They're the underdogs.
Yeah, they got to claw back. They're punching up because they are the underdogs, obviously.
Yeah.
But just quick reactions. What do you think about what they're trying? Do they have any strategy of what they're saying, or are they just all going out there and just
No,
taking
I
shots?
I think they're probably being very loose on their PR of handling of what people are going out and saying in interviews. And they don't really have an overarching, hey, you should only say this or you should avoid these topics. And they're just letting people say whatever. And so we've got, Nick Khan talking a lot about AEW. Now, he was asked questions specifically about it in an interview, but he went in on it. And so now all anyone is talking about is his comments on AEW during that interview. Then you also have guys like Roman Reigns talking about his support of Donald Trump. You have Triple H also talking about his support and what he likes about Donald Trump. And then you have John Cena talking about how much he loves Vince McMahon, and he's not afraid to say it. And this is all WrestleMania week.
I don't want to give him credit, but I almost feel like now Cena's said stuff like that in the past, but I feel like he's doubling down on it. You could almost excuse him doubling down on it right now. It's like, oh, it's heel Cena.
Yeah.
It's being a heel right now, but also like
he's getting heat.
I've had that thought, and it means I know other people have had that thought. Come here. If you had that thought. No. Stop it. It's a dumb thought. It's a dumb thought. He's not being a heel. He's being an idiot. The man has dressed like a teenager for 30 years. He's gonna think like one.
At least he fixed that bald spot a little bit. I don't know what he did.
Shave your head, John Cena. Shave your head. You are embarrassing yourself.
You want to get heat? Shave your head.
You fans abused me, so I shaved my head. Oh, joke's on you.
Yeah, you people did this to me. No, you did it to
I think.
Carry on. I gotta get a dip in my hummus real quick.
I think that they're just doing the UFC thing, man. The UFC has been legendary for years now. They don't give a crap. They say really offensive stuff. They don't care. They know that most of the people that watch UFC are MAGA. They love that. They're going to keep doubling down, and WWE is going to do the same thing. I hope people prepare, because it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. And it is what it is. I won't be surprised if around 2028 you'll start seeing little QR codes for candidates. And I really would not be shocked by it. They don't care. And they're basically using the fact that they don't care to just troll people like us that have brains and decency in us that are like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. And okay, yeah, it works because we're talking about it, but also like, I don't know, I need content, so yeah, I'm going to talk about it.
It's been interesting though watching the media this week, because we're so used to seeing in recent weeks and months of just this anti AEW kind of wave of media coming through, and it's kind of guiding people's perception of the pro wrestling landscape. And now it's kind of turned this week, which was interesting. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of positive AEW talk and negative WWE talk.
Yeah. Because just recently, like, it wasn't too bad with Dynasty, but the lead up to Revolution was just, there was a ton of clickbait, anti-AEW stuff coming out. And we all clocked it immediately. We're like, we know the pattern now. It's like, okay, well, yeah, we're about a week out from pay-per-view. The card looks amazing. And it was. And yeah, the spin started. The anti-AEW spin started up. And we all just like, it wasn't the first time, but I think it was the first time everybody went yeah, well, okay, we know what's happening right now.
Yeah.
It's pay-per-view week. The spin, the clickbait, everything's coming out. And this mania is the first I've noticed it's happened to WWE. And it's been mostly their fault. Like, there hasn't really, the pettiest thing, if you want to call it petty, that AEW has done is just they've got a lot of ads in Vegas in the airport.
Yeah.
For Dynamite. But it's like, we're advertising, there's wrestling fans that are going to be in Vegas. We're going to advertise to them. So that's not even really.
And you see that all the time.
That's good marketing. That's good
on
marketing.
TV. I've seen WWE commercials while watching AEW programming and vice versa.
Oh yeah,
it's just like that. Just kind of comes with the territory.
And if you watch on Max, they got that Paul American show, and there's tons of clips from Jake, Jim, Jeffrey Paul,
something like that. Yeah.
One of the Pauls,
whatever. They are, clips from him doing stealing Hangman's moves on TV. Logan. Oh yeah.
Logan.
Yeah.
They're an amalgamation of one person somehow.
But so to get back to our actual target for the day, Eric Bischoff. I mean, the fact that AEW has outlasted WCW. What? I just got a notification.
A lot of people are mad, buddy. A lot of people are mad about that.
So. Hey, we're getting a run in real quick. Skewered Universe podcast is here. How you doing? How you doing, buddy?
What's up, everybody?
Good.
Doing all right. How's everybody else doing?
Great.
Yeah. Great. You caught up what we're talking about? You got anything to add to the media cycle ahead of Mania before we jump back into the WCW talk?
No, I really don't have anything. I don't know.
That's fair. It's all good. I just make sure you got a chance to jump in if you didn't, if you did or didn't. But in case not, if not, yeah, we get back to it. So yeah, AEW surpassed WCW Nitro. 289 episodes of high quality, high octane professional wrestling content.
And they went all out with that.
They
episode.
yeah. Well, no, they haven't gone all out yet. That comes a little later this year.
You're right.
But they're going. Ooh, I can't.
They went all in with that episode. Oh, wait,
They went all there. No, they haven't done that.
You know
yet.
what they went?
They're
double
doing
or
it.
nothing.
Damn it!
They're down double or nothing. No, they haven't got double or nothing yet.
They're pulling out all the stuff.
Shit, that's next week.
Yeah, that's yeah. Okay, so the show kicked off. We had a nice, beautiful theater, 3-story theater, which actually I don't remember if y'all remember the AC/DC Thunderstruck video.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
Absolutely reminded me of
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
he just
Oh,
put
yeah.
chain link in front of the crowd, and it's got that exact same vibe. I saw that, and I was like, yes. Just start playing Thunderstruck, just in the back.
thunder.
Yeah, exactly. But they start off hot. The crowd is great. It is molten energy in there. And the CEO and Athena.
Man, starting the show off with an absolute banger.
And a first time, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember if they touched ever on
No.
WWE. I don't think so. But yeah. Just the first time they've touched in a ring, and they did that with each other.
They knew it was something special, so they put together a match that was just it. I don't know. It was amazing. It was good.
It was
It entertained the hell out of me.
Oh yeah, and there was some stiff stuff going too.
Mhm.
Like they knew they were like, I think they knew. If they hadn't talked about a lot of that beforehand, they hadn't already like discussed like where they were going to go. I think it's probably two of those kind of performers that they touch, they'd lock up in the middle of the ring, and they're already like, "We're doing this? Yeah, we're doing this." They just kind of know, like you tell they feel each other out, and then they just start throwing.
Yeah,
bombs.
they were on the same wavelength.
Exactly. That's a very succinct away.
And I said right away, I'm like, this is, some people were upset by the finish of Mercedes going over, but I'm like, this is only match number 1 with these two.
Yeah.
That went so well,
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
like we're gonna revisit this time after time after time.
It's a non-title match. Somebody has to take a pin because it's also a tournament match.
Right.
They're not going to do a non-finish in a tournament match with these two.
Yeah, it's not WrestleMania 4 with Rude
Yeah.
and Jake the Snake, okay?
Yeah. And it is also, speaking of WrestleMania, this is the match. Mercedes went in knowing that this is the match that she deserved to have on a WrestleMania that she never got.
Oh yeah.
The type of physical match that she never got to have on that stage. And she did it a couple days beforehand and basically went, hey, follow that.
Yeah.
Great way to open a show.
Oh, amazing way to open a show. And the shot when she got drop kicked into the barrier screen,
Yeah.
and the barrier
I
screen
love
went
that.
to static, and her face is just
They like flickered out.
her facial expression was
I love
perfect for that
that stuff.
static.
It was so good. It was so good. As
I'm
soon
not-
as I saw Mercedes video pop up, I was like, "Oh, this is how we're starting." Okay. All
Yeah.
right, strap in. It's time to go.
Yeah. Oh, so good, so good. Anything else anybody wants to say about that before what's the next match? I'm already.
Oh, God, I can't remember.
I was hoping
now.
you were going to
Oh.
lead this.
Yeah, I thought so too, but I was like, I forgot to pull up
There
the
were two
card for the
bangs.
match.
It was so good. I don't remember the
Yeah.
second one.
I was too worried about getting all the equipment and software running. I didn't think about like, I should have notes.
Should I just pull up AEW Dynamite results?
Yeah, just pull that. Yeah, if you can pull that. I was about to do it, but I heard you typing already.
Where the heck is it? I don't think this is the right week.
I don't know why I can't remember what
Ah.
this damn match was.
After that was Hangman versus the Wild Card.
Oh, God, of course.
Yeah, how do we forget
Oh,
that?
right. The wild card. So Josh Alexander has debuted in AEW.
I feel like I've been annoying everyone online. I think I've said that so-and-so mystery guy is Josh Alexander for like 3 months now for AEW. And I'm like, guys, I swear to God, he's coming. So I felt great. I was like, thank God.
I was just worried because as soon as the match started, I'm like, I don't want either of these guys to lose this match. But it made sense afterwards by go ahead and they put Josh Alexander with Don Callis. So you don't feel bad about him losing his first match because he's with that team.
Yeah, he's gonna get his receipt. So it's and they did it to set a story up.
Yeah,
like that's which again, like props to AEW because famously they don't tell stories.
I mean,
if you've been following along,
that's what I've been told.
They've 6 years now and they haven't told a single story.
All the grifters told me that.
Oh yeah,
all the grifters.
Oh, the grifters. Yeah.
I love the fact that Hangman beat Josh Alexander, who we know is I think he's somewhat of a technical guy when it comes down to it, with a small package, with a fundamental move.
Yeah.
That which don't expect Hangman to do.
Yeah, exactly. It shows Hangman like he's got his fundamentals. You're going to underestimate him because you look at him like, oh, he's just a punch kick guy. He's just like, I just got to watch out for the lariat and I'm good. Like, no, dude can wrestle. Like he can go. He can go.
He's probably one of their most underrated wrestlers in that way too, in terms of he can wrestle anybody, man.
And saying underrated as far as like as far as like thinking of him as a technical wrestler. Not underrated as thinking of him like a character, right?
Yeah, like people just think like you're saying, he does what back in the day they called the main event style, right? Like the Rock Austin style. Because I guess maybe he's such a strong character, but Hangman can freaking go, man.
Oh yeah.
He can do it all.
Oh yeah. I'm clarifying because I knew what you meant. I was just clarifying that because that's something I think is very important because I know so many people like to just clip things and get little sound bites and spin.
They're coming after you, Jangle.
Whatever they want. Yeah, and I'm trying to be the antithesis of that, honestly. Like I hate that so much. That just but we'll get into that in a later episode. Because we have too much good stuff to talk about to focus on the negatives. What do we have? I'm still trying to find the
so after Adam Page and Josh Alexander, it was the Hurt Syndicate versus Gates of Agony for the tag team championships.
Oh,
this ruled.
It did. It ruled. It did. It just. I'm
glad it wasn't a total squash. Gates of Agony got some offense in there. I want them to look strong because I think they're a pretty cool tag team.
You can't make them look weak because look at them.
Yeah.
You can't be.
Yeah. How do you make Toa Leona look weak? How?
You can't.
No.
I mean, they're with Bobby Lashley, and he looked like a monster.
Just looking at Bishop Khan, it's like a guy isn't that jacked who's not gonna throw people around.
Yeah.
He's also a prince, by the way. He's a legit prince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, good shit. Good stuff.
So
Syndicate, I'm loving them over here because it's exactly what it's the same gimmick they were doing WWE that was working, and someone decided to break them up for no reason.
It was about to break through, and it was the thing. It was like, oh, we just put them together, just like, oh, we gotta, I don't know, do some DEI on our cards, and we're gonna throw them together because the kind of people that run that show. And it got over, and they're like, "Oh, that wasn't the point of that. We don't want it to get over." And then now it's one of the best.
Working.
It's thought it was just going to be the new Sapphire.
Yeah,
I think so many people wanted it, and even people who have been watching AEW probably saw what was going on with them and were like, "It was ended way too soon."
Mm-hmm.
I only saw bits and pieces of it, and I was like, "Why didn't they keep this going?"
Yeah,
a dominant faction.
I mean, listen to the fans.
All black. I mean,
during every match, they're just singing along.
Yeah. Bo in the chat. They need Lashley to be the face of Raw, if I remember correctly. And that's truthfully, I forgot about that. They did have Lashley on top for a hot minute.
Yeah.
You know, but
They could have done that in a stable.
They could have done so much more with it, is really what they could have done. Because it almost felt like, oh, he's been here long enough. Like, we just need someone big we can put the title on for a minute. Like, it didn't feel like a real, like, oh, we're going to crown somebody. We're going to actually, like, we're going to push this person, you know. Which, yeah, I don't blame him for leaving because he deserves so much more than that. And he's getting it. You know, he's still got.
Yeah.
Lashley is. How old is Lashley? He's in his 50s now, right?
He is. I can tell you because I looked this up the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's up there though for sure.
48.
48. Okay, he's
Yeah,
almost in. He's almost in the 50s. He could go another 10 years.
Oh yeah.
Just look at it, just because he's not. He's a big dude. He does a big dude style, so his bump card is. I would assume pretty empty. Not empty,
Well,
but like he's got a lot more bumps than somebody like probably Osprey even has.
Yeah.
Easily, because you have to keep in mind when he left WWE, there was a huge gap even between that and his MMA stuff. So he had a good number of years where he was basically put on ice, very similar to like Adam Copeland, Christian Cage, where it looks like they've been doing this a zillion years, and they have, but they really kind of preserved themselves in a lot of ways for a long time. So, I think Lashley has a long way until I feel like he's over the hill.
Yeah, because he looks better than he ever has, and he looked great as soon as he put those long boys on. That's that last WWE run. He put those long boys on. You're like, ooh, okay, wait a minute.
Well, and Shelton's older than him, and he's literally wrestling Benjamin Button, man. He's unbelievable.
Shelton Benjamin Button, just aging in reverse.
Yeah.
But trademark it.
They're such a fun team to watch.
Oh yeah, because they've got good chemistry. They got great chemistry. MVP is the perfect mouthpiece for them. When he gets on commentary, like just anything they're doing, he explains it. Anything they let slip as far as offense, he spins it, but he also he builds up the other team. So by the end of the match, when they win the match, they haven't beat a couple losers because he hasn't spent the entire time tearing them down. They beat a good team because MVP has built up both teams and been like, yeah, my guys are just better.
That's exactly what commentary was for this. He was just building up Gates of Agony.
Yeah, he did great, and that they needed it. You know, I mean, well, they don't need it like, oh, they look weak, but it's they're ascending. They're coming out of ROH. They're ascending up in AEW. They need to be built as a tag team threat, and this is a perfect match for that. This is exactly what they needed. They looked great in defeat because they took it to the tag team champions. Came out looking strong.
Yeah,
great match all around. Yeah,
look good in defeat.
Oh yeah,
AEW has been really good at doing.
They are so good at it. They're so good at it.
Well, guys,
it's almost a problem.
Before we move on from this, I'm gonna have to drop out because it's about dinner time for me.
Oh,
it's actually past dinner time, so I need to get on that. But thank you for having me on. You guys enjoy talking about the rest of that awesome Dynamite.
Cool.
Right, man.
Thanks for being on. Do you want to plug anything before you go?
Oh, you guys can check out the Bubba Cast wherever you get your podcasts. It's a podcast about Big Bubba, Ray Traylor, the Big Boss Man that I do with his daughter. So yeah, it's called the Bubba Cast wherever you get podcasts. Check it out. That's
such a cool that y'all met up and could do that. That's
we've been talking about it for like past couple of years.
Yeah,
I just we should do a podcast about that because what a unique thing to do. I've got his daughter here who wants to discover a lot of his wrestling career that she's never seen. So it's been really cool checking out a bunch of those wrestling matches.
Awesome.
So check that out, or Zerpie_MD on Instagram for my action figure photography. But thanks for checking it out.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Right,
jump back in later if you feel like it.
Definitely.
All right. Okay.
Zerpster.
Where were we at? Okay, there we go. We got you vertical, so that I'm playing with settings on the video this whole time.
We were unfortunately right before that one angle with MJF everyone's mad about.
Yeah. This took a 10 out of 10 show down to just a 9.5. Like, I'm not even going to give it. I'm not going to say it did that much damage to the show because in the moment, a lot of us are like, this ain't it. But like, nobody's really harping on it afterwards.
I think here's my take on it. I'm a little less, I wouldn't say I'm a little less angry than most people because I get it, but I think I see what they're doing a little more than some are catching on to. So my thing is this: at the end of the day, it works because MJF is such a scumbag. Like,
yeah, he's our scumbag.
Right. And so he's the idea I think Tony had with this is like, well, I mean, everyone's mad anytime we do, the women are, objects thing. Let's sort of do it, but almost do it tongue in cheek. Because I really think that was the intention. I think the idea here was, well, of course, MJF has these, women that he's throwing on these guys because he's just trying to be part of the cool crowd, right? Like, he's the loser here. So I sort of saw it in that way. But I do think that it needs to be done very sparingly. I'm glad that it wasn't just like this whole half of the show. But, I don't think they're probably going to go into that well again in this angle. But,
Yeah, no, it felt like they kind of, in the middle of the segment, they were like, this isn't what we thought it was going to be. And they were kind of like, you could feel them kind of pulling back a little bit. Big props to Shelton Benjamin for just being obsessed with that watch. And just caring about that watch and just like doubling down on like, I really like this watch.
Do you have that time, Maxwell?
No, I need more. I need more time. Like that. I think that really saved a lot of the whole bit.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I do agree. Like they're going for something to just be like, hey, like this is a Maxwell heel scumbag thing, and people aren't really that invested in booing him yet or accepting him as a heel in that kind of way. So they're just like kind of, well, no, we don't want that. We don't want him objectifying women. We want him talking shit to our town. Like, we don't want him bringing a hoe train out like the Godfather. We just want him to like insult the local sports team and, make fun of the baby face that you're about to face off with, and then do your basic stuff but do it with your flair that Maxwell has. Yeah, they don't want to do like the full on, this is a heel thing. We're trying to get heat, brother.
Yeah. It just felt like a typical MJF thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like, okay.
All right.
It's like he's got these connections. He's going to use it any way he can. If he can't charm them, he's going to try and buy his way in. And if it means bringing women, he's going to do it. That's a scumbag for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a scumbag move. It didn't land, and that's all there really is for it. To that point, like, what's next on the card? Because we've got, I still can't find I can't find the image of the card, which I should have had already. I'm hosting the show here.
I've got it pulled up.
So you got it pulled up. Yeah. So what's we've just lost.
Yeah, Troubles is gone.
Troubles having troubles. No joke. That was not that good of a joke. You don't have to laugh at that.
I'm just mad I didn't come up with it. So yeah, Next was Takeshita and Ospreay.
Oh yeah, that's who. I have to put words together. I couldn't put words together on the night. I posted it on Threads. It was like, I don't have words for this. I can't explain what this match made me feel because there's not. I don't know if other languages have words for it, but English certainly does not. Oh, yeah, Trouble's back. Troubles, we're talking about Ospreay and Takeshita, and can you form a coherent sentence about what we witnessed there? Because I'm having trouble. And are you having troubles?
Yeah, I was having a lot of troubles, brother. But we're here. We got the bush because, I mean, I can't be white trash without having the bush. Yeah, Will Ospreay and Takeshita. Unbelievable. I think, they just have lightning in a bottle every time they wrestle, man. They understand each other on a level that, we talked about it earlier, and a lot of people probably would think it's a weird comparison maybe, but I think very Austin, Bret Hartish in terms of every time they wrestle, have a good one. They kill it, man. I mean, I don't think they probably even have to converse very, very much. You know what I mean? Like it has that sort of feel to it. I don't know.
No, yeah, sorry, I don't mean. Well, I do mean to interrupt. I have to interrupt you, Rook. They don't have time to converse unless they've talked it out ahead of time and like memorized everything they're doing. There's no time for them to get to a corner and grab a hold and like, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to like that. No, they're just going. They're going 90 miles an hour the entire time, move to move, counter to counter, just this breakneck speed and this is bleeding edge of professional wrestling athleticism.
They both have an intuition when it comes to wrestling each other that I think they get it.
That's a word. That's the perfect word.
They're thinking on the same page. There's some kind of chemistry there, and it just works every time. I'm never tired of them getting in the ring together.
Yeah.
And this to me felt like a pay-per-view level match, but on Dynamite.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody brought that energy to this show. Like this is okay. They all came into this. They all walked in this going, okay, we know what's coming up this weekend. Let's make them prove it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, y'all going to be on the big stage this weekend in Vegas? What can you do that we just didn't do? Can you match anything that we just did in the ring?
I don't think they'll be able to.
No. And people are like, well, they're going to tell better stories. I'm like, no, like 15 super kicks and a couple yeets is not a better story.
No.
Like, I like Uso. I like Gunther. But they're not going to do what this match did.
Never. Never.
It's going to be physical, and it's going to be rough to watch. I don't know. I'll see some clips later probably, but I'm just not invested in any of it. And I've already, from Dynamite and Collision, I'm good. I'm good for the weekend on wrestling. Like I'm actually going to get to take Saturday and Sunday and just relax.
Yeah.
It's a rare, like I've already got my wrestling in. I'm happy. I am very satisfied.
The 4 hours we got.
Yeah. We got all of that in 4 hours. You can't do that in 2 9-hour shows.
No.
Sorry, I'm not even trying to sound tribalist. It was just like I was super into last year's Mania, but this year
I'll tell you, honestly, I did not realize this was Mania week until the Discord that we're all a part of started talking about it. And I went, oh, is that this week? I didn't realize it was spring break. I didn't realize it was Mania week. I just knew we had Dynamite and Collision on back-to-back nights, and I was excited for it.
Yeah. And I haven't even watched all the Collision. I had some stuff come up, family stuff come up to deal with, but like, yeah, I don't. What's next on the card? Or do we want to talk more about? Do we want to try to find words, poetry to match what we saw? Because I don't know if that's. Like I was saying earlier, I think it was before you got on, I had to actually manually breathe. I had to remind myself to take breaths watching what they were doing. Because I was just like, I don't understand. Like, I see everything they're doing. I see how they're moving. I see the moves they're doing. I see the counters. I see what the counters lead into. And then go back to this spot and they set up over here and they do that. And then they finish the sequence and they'll get, usually like finish the sequence and they split off on opposite sides of the ring. And I'm just like, you're not humans. You're not human beings. You shouldn't have been allowed to do any of that physically by the laws of nature. You should not have been allowed to move your bodies in those ways with that speed and snap and torque.
It's like a violent ballet.
It's a Dragon Ball episode. But if you pitch that as an episode of Dragon Ball Z, rest his soul, Akira Toriyama would have been like, no. It's too unbelievable. It's not realistic enough.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if down the line after these two have more matches, they're talked about in the same breath of like Okada and Omega.
Yeah.
Or Austin and Hart on that level because they have that potential.
They are going to. I think, real quick, Bo says, "I'm still amazed Ospreay recovered from Revolution." Yeah, like he got into a back to a tank from Star Wars for a week and came out of it. Like, there's no other way you're supposed to. Human bodies should not recover from that match.
No, I didn't even get to see the match. I saw clips and I was like, Ospreay's insane.
You didn't see the cage match?
No.
Oh, God.
I saw what he did off the top of the cage and I was like, yeah, your woman had every right to be mad at you, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guarantee you somebody, Mick Foley, watched that match and went, that's a bit much.
If Terry Funk was still with us, he'd have been like, you need to slow it down, sir.
How you guys don't need to do that. That's a little bit too much. You're going to hurt yourselves. God. Ospreay is my favorite wrestler right now. It's really not even that close to, I can't imagine.
So good.
And because he hits all the notes, like for me, just the athleticism, he's like unbelievably, and I mean this, like I could not believe until I heard him how good he is on a mic, cutting a promo. Because you look at him and you look at like, oh, it's a New Japan guy, he's not gonna be great on mic, but he can be, serviceable. He's really good. He's really good on him. He's genuine. He is. Mm-hmm. When I heard him cut that promo, that first promo where he's like doing the, he's talking back to Triple H about like, oh, you're not ready for the grind. Mm-hmm. Like just that live promo on the stage. I was like, yeah, all right, you're pretty good. But what really got me is he got the promo on Roderick Strong before the match for the international title. And just after they beat him down and hit him with the belt. That promo, if you haven't seen that promo or if you haven't seen it in a while, go back and watch that. I need to go back again. And watch it. It's so good. He's like, because they hit him with the title. He's like, that's where you messed up. You hit me with the title. You made me bleed. You bonded me with that belt. I was like, Jesus.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I remember. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. I was just like glued to the TV. Just like,
God, so good.
What?
So good. But yeah, it's going to be Ospreay and Takeshita are going to be the new Kenny and Okada, Rock and Austin, and hopefully, beyond that even.
I mean, we know Ospreay is getting towards the end of his career. He's not at the end yet.
Yeah,
we're going to have a long time with Takeshita.
Yeah, Takeshita is, my God. His forearm strikes are death. And leave it to Ospreay to be able to sell them like nobody else. Troubles, are you okay down there? I can't. Are you trying to? Like, I'm just. I see you, but I can't hear you. I don't know if if your audio is muted in some way.
It was muted for a second, but
yeah, I keep seeing the little icon, and I'm just trying to make sure if you're trying to jump in, we're not talking over you or anything. Maybe I should shut up then.
yeah, I don't think his audio is working. Even though
Yeah, I don't think it. Maybe jump off and jump back in if you can. Yeah, you're just shaking your camera around. Oh, there we go. Okay, I feel bad. I was like, I kept looking down at his screen. I was like, "Are you?"
I kept doing the same thing. I'm like, it's habit.
Yeah,
It's habit.
and it's the point of, like I was talking earlier. This point of, like, this is episode 0. We're just hammering stuff out, just like, but trying to get some content together, but also working through the issues and know what we got to deal with later on. So
exactly.
Where were
this
we
is to
at?
get you fine-tuned, figure everything out. So
yeah, I was having audio issues early, and it was like we just found out like I wasn't close enough to the mic. I was talking back here. It was like, it just sounds like you're in a room. It sounds like your laptop mic. It was like, what if I do this? What if I get really close to the microphone? And then that fixed everything.
How do I sound to you? Am I coming through?
Oh, you sound great. Like, that's what I was asking the other day. I was like, what is your mic? That thing sounds great.
Yeah, Blue Yeti, and I've tweaked with the settings and tried to figure it out.
Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds clean. I didn't get the Yeti. I got the AKG. I got this guy.
Yeah, I saw you post the image of that, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice."
I bought it because it was pretty.
I love that.
I really didn't care how good it sounded. I was just like, it's a really pretty mic. I can sound good on a little shotgun mic. I don't care. I just want to. If I can get on camera, it's gonna be nice. Troubles. I can hear your background audio now. How are you doing?
Hey,
I am good. Can you hear me now?
Are. Yes, we can hear you.
There we go.
What do you think about William By God Ospreay and Take Soup?
Willard and Old Take, I'm telling you, man, it's a match made in wrestling, just greatness, man. It's like wrestling Olympus, I feel like. And what I was saying earlier before my audio decided to crap down both legs was that I think that I like the Austin Brett comparison for exactly what Jeff was saying, where, Ospreay's kind of not near the end, but he's definitely closer to the end than Take. And I think Take is in an Austin situation in really every comparative way, because, here he is, he's finally on the big scene, just like with Austin, where Stunning Steve was great, but a lot of people didn't really understand or know who he was when he came to WWF. And, Take's the same way. He was killing it in DDT forever. And, he now has an opportunity to break out. And he has a lot of miles left on his bump card. And so I think it's interesting. I do look at it like Ospreay being like, here's the torch, son. And Take being like, I got it. I'm going to go to a Cinnabon later. And they were like, yes. And we are all better for it, actually.
Oh yeah, we're witnessing the rise of a generational talent.
And I'm thinking there's got to be something, because if we look at what's happening with Takeshita and the Callis family, I'm thinking we're going to get a face turn from him soon, because ever since, 29, Takeshita and Tony Storm, both 29, and look at what they're doing right now.
I wasn't doing anything when I was 29.
Neither was I.
Yeah,
it's so crazy.
I was screen printing T-shirts, went home and farted in a bathtub. Like nothing. I didn't do anything.
That was out every.
I was barely coherent at 29.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just a baby in this world.
Just a fetus.
I was engaged at 29. Jesus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was already divorced.
Yeah, man. Whoa. Well, that's a perfect segue. I'm going to have to get off here, guys. I'm going to go hang out with my wife. It's been
that
real.
Really is a good segue.
You guys rule. It wasn't it?
Yeah, that was yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, that was very well done. Very well done. Yeah. You're coming back on this show.
I'll pat myself on the back like Barry Horowitz later.
Do that. All right, you got to take off.
Yeah.
Plug whatever you want to plug.
Barry Horowitz. Beautiful.
All right, man. I am Troubles Weekly on Blue Sky. I am Troubles Wrestling Pod on Instagram, on Threads. I'm Troubles Weekly on YouTube, and Troubles with Weekly Wrestling on every podcast aggregator on this side of the Mississippi and the other. And whatever else I end up doing, who knows at this point? I might just own a shortwave radio. Who knows? I might be pirate radio, and next time you hear from me, I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. It depends on what the world comes to. All right. Well, good to have you on here. We're gonna see you again pretty soon. Definitely.
Absolutely. I'll jump on anytime you need me, buddy. You guys have a good night.
You too.
Have a good
Appreciate you.
All right.
All right, Jeff.
That was the first time I've talked to Troubles.
Oh yeah, this is the first time I've talked to a couple people tonight.
Yeah. Say with Zerpie, I had no idea. I've
Zerpie?
heard him, I've seen his stuff, but
seen people's faces. I'm like, oh, that's you got a whole face there. I've never seen that before. Like, you're not your avatar.
No, if I was just a skull, that'd be weird.
Yeah,
maybe cool, but weird.
At first, I saw I jumped on with jumped onto the Hardway podcast, and I saw Blade's face, and I was like, "You're not Swerve. You're not bleeding from your forehead."
The first time I went on the Hardway, I said nobody looks like they sound. And I was like, "Yeah, Blade, you don't look like you sound." And I felt so bad because I was like, "I don't mean it in a bad way.
Yeah,
it's just I had a perceived image, and then I see him, and I'm like, oh, he's just like the rest of us." Because I was thinking like some leather jacket, dark hair, like disc jockey looking guy.
Yeah, because he's got a California radio K-Love voice.
Yeah,
maybe not K-Love, but whatever rock station is.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I've grown up in California.
105.3 The Boneyard. All the hits from the 80s and the 90s. Here's an hour-long chain of Alice in Chains.
That is not far off. That is not far off at all.
Yeah. The reason I started doing this is because a bunch of my friends are like, "Man, you should go on a radio or be a strip club DJ." Like, well, yeah, that's good. Those are two options. Those are definitely two options.
Making her way to the main stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do podcasting just because I talk a lot. My wife was like, "You should do it."
Yeah, get some of this energy out.
Shut up.
Yeah. it's like taking a kid to the park.
I'm talking movies. I'm talking wrestling. So she's like, "Here's a microphone. I bought you a website. Get started."
Nice. Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So without her, I wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. Misfit strip club DJ LMAO. All right. So what do we get? Where did we leave off? We were talking about Ospreay and Takeshita. I think we were going to move to the next match.
We're at the main event.
Oh, we are at the
which
main event.
Was the trios championship match between the defending Death Riders and the Ops.
Yeah, I'm glad you're a professional because I came into this just like.
Oh,
because this really does say like what my priorities were for all of this whole thing. It was like. Because it was just like people constantly like, "You got to do a podcast, man. You got a good voice." I'm like, "All right, cool." Like, and I worried all day about setting up, like getting the video and the audio and everything perfect for that. And I was like, started recording. I was like, I have no notes for this. I have no idea what I'm going to say. I just had to make sure I sounded good.
I never have notes. I tried. I can't do it. So
yeah. Like I had some vague like, "Oh, we're gonna talk about like the Nintendo Switch, and we're gonna talk about this and this in the news," and then we're just gonna talk about AEW Dynamite for a little bit because it beat Nitro, and that's the big story. We didn't dunk on Bischoff as much as I thought we would because it was like, which I'm not upset about because we actually like part of the thing I want to do in the show is be less clickbaity, more positive, like. Yeah, okay. Bischoff talked a lot of shit, and he got proven wrong at every turn. But AEW is firing so hot and heavy right now we're more interested in talking about how good it is than
Mhm.
how badly Bischoff fumbled.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a good place to be. I like that a lot. I think that's a much more worthy pursuit. Also, I'm jumping into my second drink of the night because this is the pregame. You're supposed to have some drinks and snacks. The idea of the show is put us on in the background and then get ready for your weekend. And that's what I'm doing. So I've got Three Sword Style, another fall cider beer.
Nice.
Yeah,
I wish I had something.
Good local beer.
But...
Good yeah, and now for next time. Just bring some snacks. I got some hummus here too. Expected a buddy of mine to show up, and he got out of class and apparently just passed out. So I was like, all right, okay,
school
that's fine,
will do that to you.
Yeah, especially at he's he's a little bit younger than me, but he's still like, he's no Takeshita being 29 years old and being able to recover from everything he does. He's like, no, I go to college. Like, I'm in my 30s. I go to college. Like, I'm tired. I'm going to take a nap. If I don't show up, like, I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, I get it. Bo in the chat. WCW did have good moments despite Bischoff. And I won't take anything away from it. WCW had great moments. Bischoff included.
Yeah.
I think the only reason I'm saying we came to kind of dunk on Bischoff is just him talking shit about AEW when they didn't hire him after they had him do a couple appearances, and him just going full on podcast grifter, being like, well, they're not going to survive another year. They're hemorrhaging money.
He came off like a jilted lover. It's like,
exactly. Okay, it's exactly what he did.
Get over it. So you weren't hired.
Yeah. It was a great beer, by the way.
Nice.
I will push if I can get this. If I can get False Idol to sponsor this podcast, I'm going to do it.
That would be amazing.
If I could just do it there, if I could just show up there with the equipment and be like, "Hey, I'm going to podcast from the back of the brewery." Like,
can I just set up by one of the vats and just top off every now and then?
Oh my god, that would be perfect. That'd be the best. Like, if you're subscribe, do whatever that people tell you to do with podcasts, and spread the word about it, so I can have that happen. That's as long as I can do that and pay my rent, I'm good.
There you go.
I'm a simple man. Like,
that's the dream, right?
I want to watch wrestling, and I want to go to the gym and have good beer and talk about stuff on podcasts and play video games. Like, I don't know. Like, it's life doesn't have to be that hard, and neither do Takeshita's forearms, but they are.
God.
That one forearm strike when Ospreay just fell over, just on his heels and fell straight onto his back. Didn't bump, didn't catch himself or anything. I was like, he's dead. He's dead. Yeah. Everybody in the group chat was like, dead. Just the word dead 5 times in a row.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was just like, my jaw hit the floor.
Yeah. And we got to get away from that match. We keep going back to it because it was so good. Watch it. Watch that match right now. If you're still listening to this, pause it. You can't pause it because it's live, but come back later. Whatever. It's recorded. I'll post it somewhere.
Yeah.
Watch that match 2 times in a row just to get more, just to understand it.
Watch it. Replenish your fluids. Watch it
because you're going to lose a lot of fluids watching that match. If you're anything like me, and I know I am, you can't see the background, but I picked the Outrunner background. Like, hold on, just because it said it was.
I could.
There we go. Yeah, it said Outrunner on the background options. So I was like, I'm using that. I have to. I'll leave it like that for a minute. But yeah, main event time, trios match. The hops. I'm going to call them the hops.
The hops.
Because I was like, okay, it's another. Yeah, you gotta have the Death Riders in the main event because they're trios champs, and okay, we're gonna have the ops out there because that's the big trio we're trying to push. And like, no, well, Hook's out though. Like, what are they gonna do? And I was like, I just wasn't feeling it. I was like, okay, another Death Riders main event. I know how this is gonna end. And then the ops came out, And then Hobbs' music hit.
Oh,
I was like, oh, and this is literally a Monday Night Raw. Business is about to pick up.
yeah. And what I loved is Shibata and Joe walk out. They just stand there, just mean mugging the Death Riders.
Yeah, and they're both so good at that.
Hobbs' music hits. Hobbs walks out, and Joe just gives a little smirk, and then right back to serious. I'm like,
yeah,
Joe is so good. It's the subtleties with Joe, and
he's incredible. He's one of those guys. If I see he's going to be on a podcast, I'll listen to it because I just want to hear him talk about his craft, the way he goes about things, because it's always so. In fact, he's got a good mind for the whole thing, and the way he puts things together, the way he just did the Chris Van Vliet podcast and talking about how people are legitimately scared of him backstage coming up. And he was like, I'm just another guy. But he's got that. He's got presence. People are like, who's got aura? No, he's got aura's like, it's, whatever. He's got presence. Aura's like, you look at a guy and like, yeah, that's a good looking, like, that's I respect that person. Presence is, you don't have to see them. It's that he's behind me, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
You just know. Yeah. He's got that. It's one of the intangibles, and he's just got it like oozing off of him. I don't want to say oozing. I'm going to take it back. Radiating is probably a better word.
Yeah.
Yeah. MJF oozes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more of a guy that's an oozing.
Not machismo, but
yeah, but yeah. Joe, I just love Joe. I love Joe. He's a good egg.
Man, I heard about Joe back when he was in TNA, and I wasn't watching it, so I was like, okay, I don't know. I just heard about this guy, saw some stuff, and I'm like, okay, he's impressive. And then I saw his NXT run.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. Then he goes to the main roster, and they just don't know what to do.
Yeah. And how do you not know what to do?
Like, he's Samoa Joe. He comes all ready to go. Yeah, you just need to go for the title.
Yeah.
That's it.
And because he was, when I got back into WWE after a long time in the wilderness, it was before AEW, it was NXT had drawn me back in.
Same.
And Joe was already on the main roster, and it was one of the earlier main roster feuds that I was interested in after, watching a bunch of NXT. It was when Joe was coming after Brock.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And they had that in-ring thing where like Joe's cutting a promo on Brock, and Brock is looking at Paul Heyman. He's like, look at me when I'm talking to you. And I was like, oh no. Oh, there's going to be blood.
When he did that, I was like, okay, now Joe needs to kill Brock.
He has to win now, right? He has to win this.
And yet.
And that's when I was like, oh, I was already like, you're missing a beat with this guy.
I have a feeling it was one of those decisions like, well, what is this kind of out of shape Samoan guy? How's he going to beat Brock Lesnar? It's like, he's not out of shape. He's
in the shape he needs to be for the way he moves and the way he wrestles.
He's so agile too. Every time he does something, I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How are you doing that?
You're not, and people, it's a cliche to be like, how does a man his size move like that? But like, he's the prototype of that. He's started the mold of how does this big man move like a cruiserweight?
Samoa Joe walked so guys like Willie Mack could run. So when you see guys like that doing a standing moonsault, you're like, oh, yeah, all right, big guy. Yeah, good.
Oh, glad I need more Willie Mack on my TV.
Oh man,
that AEW episode was great.
I think the first time I saw him was at Lucha Underground.
That's another. I need to get back to that.
I never finished whatever. I trailed off for some reason because I couldn't find it anywhere anymore.
Yeah, I actually this years back. A friend of mine and his wife invited me over to come hang out, and they're like, "Yeah, just come hang out, like have dinner, and we found a show we want to watch with you." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool and kind of weird." First time anybody's like, "Hey, we invited you to watch a show with us," and it was Lucha Underground, and none of us knew what it was, but they were just like, "Yeah, it's like a wrestling show on Netflix." I think they had a Netflix deal or something. And we sat down and we started watching. It was like, oh, this is like underground, like lucha libre, like wrestling show. And I think they thought it was more of like a crime show with a lucha libre twist. So they weren't really into it. And I was like, okay, that's fine. We can watch something. I think we watched like Castlevania or something else, the Castlevania anime. But I was like, that was my first experience with Lucha Underground. I never picked back up on it because I think it moved off of Netflix immediately afterwards.
Yeah, I heard the buzz from a few friends who watched wrestling, and it was like WWE is kind of boring. And they're like, watch Lucha Underground, and I found it, and I was like, who are these people? What is going on? This is amazing. Yeah. And then of course you see guys like Sammy Guevara show up there, or Rey Mysterio shows up, which that was the best presentation of Rey Mysterio, I think.
Yeah.
I think everyone gets hindered by the WWE style.
Oh yeah. And Bo brings up, we stream Lucha in the group. I was like, yeah, I keep forgetting about that. I'd also like most of the streams, like that's my bedtime. Like I want to stay up and watch I want to watch Match Club. I don't want to watch the streams. I'm just like, I'm in bed. I have to go because like I wake up at 3 a.m. for work.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I get that.
So that's why I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do the podcast. I'm gonna do it like Friday evenings.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm with Bo. I'm gonna jump onto one of those streams. Make sure I have a extra strong coffee for the morning. But so getting back to the main event. And this is okay. Man. This was not like, oh, this is going to be this great pay-per-view match quality thing like we got from some of the others. This was a basically elevated perfect TV match.
Yeah.
This was, especially with the amount of just extra stuff at the end. the
wow.
I wouldn't even say overbooking, but just like fun booking.
Yeah.
Of the end of it. Because as soon as I saw Willow come out, I was like, oh, we're about to just go shenanigans. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be shenanigans for the rest of this match.
And anytime I see Willow, I'm like, yes, Willow's here.
It is a Willow is always a promise of this is gonna be fun. And then she had that match with Chris Statlander. And now Willow is a promise of fun and unbelievable violence.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she just built that back. She built that into her character immediately after that match. That's another match you got to go back and rewatch.
Those street fights, she was bringing, I'm like, I did not expect Willow to bring that.
I expected, okay, cool. They're going to like brawl around the ring and there's going to be like a table and chair spot or whatever. I didn't expect light tubes.
No, that was so violent. But it was so good at the same time.
Yeah, they were. And it was the perfect two people to have that kind of match to like open up that level of violence. There's no other word for it in the women's division in AEW, and to really go like, okay, we can. Yeah, we've done violent women's matches before, but how about we give you two physically dominating women that can actually that look like they can deliver and take that level of violence. And we give you that and you go, oh, okay. I know what you're doing here. And that's going to allow the more mainstream crowd to acclimate to that. It's like dipping a toe
Yeah.
in cold water or hot water. You can acclimate to it if you see it with like. Because I think the thing was like, you see Britt Baker getting bloodied up. You're like, no, she's just this tiny little woman. She's all beat up. I'm like, that's weird. Like, people get squeamish about that. I'm like, okay, it's it's wrestling though. Like you should know what you're getting into. But I think you couldn't have gotten the Tony Storm Mariah May match, the Hollywood ending, if you didn't have that first.
Yeah.
I think that opened the door the rest of the way to allow that type of physicality.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think Willow was one of the better people to put in that position because she has the appeal to so many, because she's bubbly and charming and she's smiling all the time. But then she's like, okay, you've pushed me. And now I'm going to show you exactly why you should do that.
No, she was the perfect one for it. And also like, hey, with her and Stat were the perfect two people to do it because they both have that. They've got a genuine crowd connection. People love their characters. They're invested in them, but they're also like, you're also like, kind of terrifying when you want to be.
Oh yeah.
You could look at them and go like, yeah, if you flip that switch, you're gonna hurt someone. And so they're the perfect two people to have that match.
The clothesline Willow gave to Marina, she practically decapitated her.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, give me these two in a match right now.
They need to have a. And Marina Shafir is no slouch. She's a much more slender woman, but she is also a very trained. I think people forget, like, she's got legit MMA background.
There's a reason why I'm certain Moxley handpicked her to be a part of this.
Oh, yeah, because she's legit.
And it's because it's like if anyone tried to grab that briefcase, she's going to break them.
Yeah.
She's terrifying.
Yeah.
And her back, oh, God.
Oh, yeah, she, like,
I'm like,
because she looks very like slender and thin, but then she'll move and you'll see the muscles flex. Like, you are shredded like cheese, and you'll just snap an elbow if you feel like you need to.
Yeah, when I see her just throwing people around, I'm like, that's just her throwing people around. There's no
that's not it's not like, hey, I'm about to throw you. It's like, hey, I've thrown you. Yeah. No. So we got that. We got what?
Do you know what happened to Hook? Why he wasn't in the match? Is he injured or?
So all I know, I haven't looked too deep into that. Is I've heard because he had that incident where he threw up in the ring the other day.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I saw that had happened, and I saw like clips of it where it's like you can see like a little puddle of brown next to him in the ring. So they took him out, like he'd been checking on him, and that's also and then they did the backstory of like, oh, the Death Riders attacked him, and Taz is in the hospital with him, checking him out. That's why Taz was on commentary. But that's all. I haven't looked into it too much.
Because when Taz wasn't there and they were like, oh, he's at the hospital, I'm like, okay, there's something else going on, but they're working it into the story.
They built it in the story.
If it was just him out with like a twisted knee or something, Taz would have been there and been like, yeah, these guys, but it's got to be something a little more than that.
Oh yeah. Well, Taz like he got his hip replaced, and like he was back in a month.
Yeah.
It's
like how, sir, are you back already?
Yeah.
I guess because he doesn't have to train for the ring.
Yeah, he doesn't have to he just sits down like. But still, like I'd milk that as much as I could, but Hook is he came down sick with something. People were like, before it got to the point it got pulled from the match, people were like, oh, he just ate too many chips before the match. He threw up. Like, but also like I kind of thought about it, I was like, because I know people have gotten sick off eating too many of those spicy Cheetos. Because apparently they're addictive. And I was like, did he eat too many spicy Cheetos and get like a stomach like thing? Like ulcer,
Yeah,
like
who knows?
something like that. I've heard about that happening.
Yeah, I've heard about it happening in young kids, which is really concerning.
Which is and Hook is like whatever, he looks like he's 18 or what. I don't know how old Hook is. Like
I don't know how old he is. He's
you could tell me he's 35 and it'd be like, yeah, okay, all right, I get it. You could
he's
also tell me he's
14
like
or 35.
Yeah, 14 or 45. Yeah, I don't know. I do miss the days of like you could look at somebody and actually be able to tell. But then again, as I'm saying that, I'm thinking about like somebody used as an example, and I'm like, you look at Arn Anderson and know he's like 40 years old, but then it was like, no, because like you look at Arn Anderson in like the 80s, like he was 30.
Yeah.
He was like 29, 30, and he looked like,
I think Arn Anderson was born looking 40.
Yeah. Yeah. He's always been 40 years old.
Yeah.
And I am older than prime Arn Anderson, and I still get carded.
I haven't been carded since I grew the beard, but now with this white in the front, if they card me,
when I had my beard grown out, because I tried to trim it, and that's the mistake. That's the hubris of mankind. You think you could trim your own beard. No, you can't. You can't. You end up with this, and it goes back, and you get like a little chin strap, and you got some patchy spots, and you got to wait for all of that to grow back. And then you need to spend the money, and you need to go to a barber, and you need to tell them, fix me. Fix me right now. I will give you the money to do so.
Yeah. That's why I haven't trimmed this. I don't have trimmers right now, but I'm like, if I trim this, it's going to look weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I look homeless right now, but I'm like,
well, that's your background. Patchy. That's your background. That's why you look homeless, because you're literally in an alleyway in your background.
I mean, this is where I live.
Yeah, that's
this
people
didn't know
California that. People, we're gonna set up a GoFundMe for Jeff here to get an actual. He's podcasting from an alleyway. Anyway, okay, let's get
Sarah McLachlan music.
Yeah. The arms of an angel. Okay, so let's get back to this main event.
Yeah, as soon as I saw Hobbs coming out, I was like, okay.
Oh, Hobbs.
Okay.
You gotta love Hobbs. And I love that Hobbs is like Osprey. He's Tony Khan's cheat code for just like, we just got to get some more hype on this episode. We throw Osprey in the beginning. If we don't, if I'm not confident on the start of the show, we just throw Osprey in the beginning. And then somewhere near the end, the crowd is starting to wane, I'll just throw Hobbs out there.
Yeah.
And the crowd come back up.
The crowd went insane when as soon as I break backs hit the screen, they're like, oh.
Powerhouse. Yeah, you can't not, because you know what he's going to do.
Yeah. And there's already built-in story, because he had the match with Mox last year where he got injured. So there's already background there. So it makes sense that they would pick him.
Yeah.
Plus, he's just a big dude that can go.
Yeah, he's Will Hobbs. Like,
yeah.
If you've got him available on your roster, you have to use him. If you don't have plans for him, throw him in wherever he fits in. And if he doesn't fit, he'll make room because he's huge.
Yeah, I want to see Hobbs do well. I want to see him more on TV. Yeah. I don't want him to be treated like Wardlow.
Yeah, and I don't. I don't really know what to do. The Wardlow issue, I don't know how to, because you've got Hobbs and Brian Cage and Wardlow on the same roster, and how do you make each one of them distinct characters with distinct motivations and important, and give them screen, TV time and all that? And it comes down to that's when it comes down to what is the performer going to do to make themselves, I'm trying to think of a better term than that stupid fucking Fed grab the brass ring shit. But I get it. That's kind of where I'm aiming at. Like, how do you take those three guys and you throw them on the same roster and like, look, do the same thing. You feel the three of you fill the same kind of role, and it's up to you to make a place for yourself. And Hobbs really is the only one that's done that. Like Cage got by on just being big and shredded.
Yeah.
And he looks good, and Don Callis can like talk about how big and shredded he is, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That works for him.
Works for that.
Yeah. Hobbs and coming in right there. Hobbs has the charisma, exactly what I was getting to. Like he's got an intangible the others don't. He's got a physical and he's got a camera charisma the others don't.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just that little I can't do it. I can't even do that sneer he does. But just he's got that, and he's got a way he moves that that sets him apart. And
it sounds cliche, but he's so fat for his size. And I know that sounds cliche because there's so many of them, but he's so jacked, but yet he moves so quick.
He does. He is explosive as shit.
And his spine buster.
Oh, I love a spine buster. And if anybody missed it, when I posted on Threads the other night about like, hey, I like arm drags. What's your favorite like simple move? And there's like hundreds of people that are like commenting on it. I was like, oh God, I went viral. I didn't mean to go viral for that. That was not the one I wanted to have to follow up on. But there's so many people that love spine busters. Like spine busters. What else? God, I can't remember off the top of my head, but that was one of the ones I saw a lot. People love a spine buster. And his is great. His is, and going back to Arn Anderson, Arn Anderson level spine buster. That's what I was pick saying. Up, spin, and bam.
I wouldn't have been surprised if Arn kind of coached him a bit when he was there.
Yeah.
Like, hey, when you hit that spine buster, do this, do that, and it's going to look better.
Give him a little spin and put them down before you come down on them. Like, hey, it's so good. It's so good.
It's like Hobbs' spine buster does for me what Dustin's power slam does.
That was the other one. Dustin's power slam. Beautiful.
Sometimes I think he's going to get the other guy's head hit on the mat because it's so quick and low, but he
doesn't because he's that good at it. And he
really is.
And people always talk about like it's snappy and he's got a lot of speed. And I'm like, okay, it does, it really does. But he's got the torque and the impact.
Yeah,
is what for me sells it, because when they come off those ropes, he gets them and they twist so damn fast, and he puts them on the mat. The gravity is not taking over. He is putting them on the mat. It's him doing it, and it is beautiful.
They are trusting him to take control of that.
Yeah, and that's what you get when you've been doing it that long. You get the trust. Hobbs has a goated modern spine buster with that twist. Yeah, that twist. The twist. Spine buster, you can pick somebody up and drop them, push them down. But like you get that. And it's the same thing with that torque and that spin with the scoop power slam. It's all about that extra motion and that spin and putting them down. You can just hug somebody and roll over and fall. That looks fine.
Oh, yeah.
It looks fine. It does the job. But you put somebody into the mat. That's a different move. That's a finisher. That can be a finisher if you wanted to.
Yeah. It's got, I think, like Dustin's power slam, Hobbs' a spine buster, and I'm going to say Joe's Uranagi.
Oh, I love his Uranagi.
His Uranagi just looks like he's going to kill somebody.
Sit down.
Yeah. It's just like, nope.
Yeah. And that was another one of the early, like, it got me into Joe, was like seeing him in WWE main roster. Somebody came into the corner and he did the out of the corner Uranagi. And I don't think this is meant to pick up on camera, but he picks the dude up and slams and goes, "Shut the fuck down." And I was like, that's my guy. That's my guy right there.
Yeah, it's those things.
Yeah. little details and just little ways to make it your. And I say this as I've never taken a bump in my life.
Yeah,
but you can, if somebody wanted to come in here that's actually done training and tell me I'm wrong for everything, I'll listen and I will back down and be like, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm wrong. I get it. These are the things I see. And I don't know. Somebody told me I should get a camera and a microphone. So I'm talking.
Yeah. The most I've ever done is lock my brother in the sharpshooter and the lion tamer.
Yeah.
And the legit lion tamer, not the half-assed one.
Oh,
with
nice.
the twist and the knee drop on the head.
Yeah. Oh, the real thing. I've been at a bar and told my friends to give me chops.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
And I only realized that because I woke up the next day. I was like, my chest hurts. And I was like, what happened last night? Like, you told us to chop you. You took your shirt off at the bar. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That seems like something I'd do.
There are people that pay wrestlers at conventions and stuff and signings to chop them. I'm like, one of these days you're gonna get somebody who chops hard and they're gonna cave your chest in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
I would, I would actually. Sorry, I'm eating snacks on the podcast about eating snacks.
Ah, you're good. It's the pregame.
Yeah, I would actually. It's kind of a bucket list thing. I want to do at least like a week or so of wrestling training classes. Just sit in and just like go through drills and stuff and get hit and run ropes and get chopped and take a body drop or whatever. Just because I want to know. I want to know. I just want to have that experience. Like I don't. Like I said, I'm in my 40s now. I don't think I'm ever gonna do a match, but I just want to like. I want to know like when I'm watching all this stuff and I'm enjoying it as much as I am. I just want to have that idea of like when I see something happen, like I know what that feels like. I know exactly what that feels like.
I totally get that.
It's that. Yeah. Okay. Where were we at? Were we anywhere in this match, or were we just talking about good moves?
I think we were just talking about good moves.
We're just talking about good moves.
I mean, they didn't even get a chance to ring the bell, and they just started.
Yeah, everybody's just
Death Riders just stormed them, and poor. I think it was Yuta.
It's always poor Yuta.
Got paired up with Hobbs, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna die tonight.
Yeah. Yuta's just the Kenny of the Death Riders. Oh God, you killed Yuta.
Yeah. I gotta say, Yuta's doing some of the best work.
He's got a couple pins though. He's been,
Yeah.
And he's doing. It's fun watching him pull out the Bryan Danielson stuff. Using the knee, and they're like, "I've got till 5."
I've been loving that so much, and I'm like, if this isn't a subtle hint that we're gonna see Danielson return,
it's got to be. It's such a good little detail. They've got to be hinting at something.
The Psycho knee, the I have to a 5.
Yeah.
Cattle mutilation.
Oh,
it's like, come on.
You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. I miss Bryan Danielson on my TV so much.
Man. So good. But he makes me nervous every time he wrestles because he's going at such a pace. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
You were injured severely.
Yeah.
There were issues.
When he came down. He came back from retirement in the Fed, and his first match one of his first matches is Sammy and Kevin Owens, and they just drop him on the apron.
Mm-hmm.
I was, what? You're gonna kill the man.
I saw that. I was like, no, don't. Why? Why are you doing this?
That's the hardest part of the ring.
Thanks, Michael Cole.
Yeah. I don't know if you all know this, but that's the hardest part of the ring. It was icky. It was very icky.
It's just seeing him like take buckle bombs and
busters. That was the whole match. Was just like, we're gonna drop you on the ring, and we're gonna give you a bunch of buckle bombs. And you're already if you've been watching wrestling, you've been watching WWE, you're already really suspicious of buckle bombs because that took Sting out for a while.
Yeah,
and that's what took Sting out of his WWE run.
Mm-hmm.
And thank the Cons, he got to come back and do the Do the AEW run.
Yeah. Which I never got to see Sting growing up. I wasn't a WCW guy.
I really wasn't either. I knew about him because he was too popular not to know about. And then the Crow thing started, and I was like, well, I'm in high school and I love goth stuff. So like Crow Sting, I'm gonna at least pay attention somewhat to that.
Yeah.
But
I was keeping tabs on that. I wasn't watching every week because I was like, I gotta see Austin. That's my guy.
Well, yeah, I got it. What's Austin gonna? He's gonna do something. He's gonna, you know. But yeah, same way with all that. All right, so Death Riders, the Ops with Hobbs, the schmoz at the end, because the match itself, the meat of the match is what you'd expect from these two teams.
Yeah. It's Claudio doing Claudio stuff. It's Wheeler doing his, rip off of Danielson. It's Joe being Joe.
Yeah.
It's Hobbs breaking backs and Shibata just being the wrestler.
Yeah.
Shibata's just speak and spell is great.
Oh yeah. And these are all good things. Like we're not downplaying anything that happened. It's just if you know these participants, you know what you're getting into with this match. And then the schmoz starts. Willow comes out.
Taking the chair
Bucks,
from Mox.
The Bucks show up.
I loved Willow flipping off Mox. Just like
Willow. Who was it? Somebody posted about it was Willow flipping off Mox holding chairs. Put it in the loop.
Put it in the loop.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I would buy a print of that. I would buy a print of that. And I love
it too because Mox hit the paradigm shift on her.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, I'm right here. Screw you, bud.
Yeah. Do it again. Come on.
It's like, all right.
Yeah.
The Bucks coming out.
The Bucks coming out. And the deeper and deeper V-neck every week.
It's like the Pearls. The Pearls got bigger and there was more of them. The V is eventually going to be just a shirt that's...
Yeah, it's just going to look like... what's his name from the end of the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Yeah. I watched that movie every night, every weekend for like 5 years, and I can't remember his name.
I know exactly. I'm drawing a complete blank.
Willow flipping off Mox is wrestling's flower girl with the stem, the cop's rifle picture. Yeah, that's. Yeah, I want to get both of those pictures framed together, hang them up. Tim Curry, not Tim Curry. It was the other. It was the.
You're thinking Riff Raff?
Riff Raff, thank you. Yeah, it was Riff Raff, and with the deep and the shoulder pads and the gun, the space gun. Yeah, that's what that V-neck is going to turn into by the end of this.
You're probably not wrong.
Yeah,
it's the new Pearls.
We're going back to Transylvania.
I didn't like that movie the first time I watched it.
Oh, I watched
it. Watches. I've grown to love it.
No, I watched it just at somebody's house and it was awful. Thank you. But when I saw it in the theater, like for a Rocky Horror midnight showing, I was like, "Oh, this is my new favorite thing." And I just, like I said, I would almost join the cast. Like I watch it like I went every weekend even by myself sometimes, or if I drag friends in, whatever. Like that was young, late teens, early 20s. That was my Rocky Horror Shadowcast midnight showing. That was my thing. And I don't know what that says about me as a wrestling fan, but maybe that's like maybe why I'm like, Goldust was a generational character. I identified with that. This all tracks. It does. Yeah. Like, I like spooky, goofy. Like, I like Danhausen and Malachi Black. Like, I'm the person I am.
How do you not like those?
Yeah. But it's because I like them equally, and I don't. There's no like. I don't think either one's cornier than the other. It's just So you're saying you love the 91 Addams Family. That movie is a load-bearing piece of my personality, honestly.
I can understand.
I like, okay, Angelica Houston with that just like strip of light across her eyes when she's waking up in the morning in bed.
Mhm.
Like that was like, okay. Yeah, that's, I know what to look for. That's, yeah, it is. Yeah. I love that movie. I love Addams Family is just,
It's good.
it's so good.
I didn't think it was going to be good. And then I saw it and I'm like, this is fun.
You don't think the 91 movie was going to be good? It had Raul Julia.
Yeah, I didn't know that at the time when it came out. I didn't know who Raul Julia was. I just knew what I had seen on TV and reruns, and I'm like, how are they going to do this in a movie?
Okay, that's fair.
And then I was blown away.
Yeah, and of course. Which is weird because, like, and I will say this about the Addams Family movie is like when I knew the Street Fighter movie, Gomez was going to be M. Bison. I was like, this is going to be perfect. This is going to be the best movie I've ever seen. Like, I was young and I wasn't super like, IMDb wasn't a thing back then. At least not I could access. But I knew enough about movies to know, all right, I liked that guy. I liked that guy in the Addams Family movie, and he's gonna be M. Bison. I'm gonna like this too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was the same way.
Yeah. And
plus I played so much Street Fighter 2.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, this can't be bad.
There's no way this is going to be bad. Oh, it wasn't. I mean, it's got some things that you could.
Yeah, looking back, I'm just wondering, was Van Damme only cast because he was hot at the time?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't really fit the guile.
Yeah.
He's not.
I'm loving this meander going on right there. This is turning into an episode of your podcast. If you want to do another hour, I can just send you the recording.
Oh man. Yeah, this match though. Getting back to what
yes, okay. Yeah, let's all right.
Yeah, you have the Bucks come out and they're yucking it up. They're doing the Bucks thing. You're not sure
they're doing the Bucks. Yeah, they're doing And then
oh man. From out of the crowd comes Swerve in a hoodie.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was him at first. I'm like, wait, what is this guy doing?
I gotta say this too. This is the first time I've seen a hoodie run in where I didn't immediately know who the hoodie was. They actually did the hoodie run in well because you didn't know who it was. Because it's usually so obvious, like, oh, somebody shows up in a black hoodie, you know who it is. And then they take the hoodie off, like, oh my God, it's so and so. Like, we already knew that, dude.
Yeah. The only other time I didn't was the Jack Perry thing, but that's just because he had the mask on, and I was like, what is this? I was like, I know it's somebody, but who is it?
Yeah.
And then just that smirk. But yeah, I didn't realize this was Swerve. I was like, who's this guy interfering? And then I was like, oh, it's Swerve. And it's buck hunting season, as he said.
I loved it because the crowd when they did pull the hood off, like he's got it, he has it.
There is no denying that he is a superstar. He's a megastar.
Yeah,
he's got everything.
Yeah,
and the fact that he said, "Look, Tony Khan was looking for somebody he could rely on," and I figured I was going to be that guy, so I worked hard and proved that I could be that guy. Like Swerve is going to be what Mox was during the COVID era. When they need a guy, Swerve's going to be the one they rely on.
Yeah, he is the new go-to guy. He is absolutely that. He's absolutely that.
Yeah. And I get people were mad that he didn't win the title off Mox, but I think there's a bigger story playing here.
Oh, there definitely is.
I mean,
actually, Give me a second. If you want to vamp for a minute, I got to go do something real quick.
Yeah, no
You're
problem.
checking something. Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. Swerve is going to end up as AEW's biggest star. Troubles. Yeah, I mean, there's no denying his star power, his charisma. He's got everything you need. And the dude bulked up like big time. Not that he was ever really small, but he was leaner, but now is like broader shoulders, yet still capable of doing everything in the ring he was doing before. And Swerve is not only fluid in the ring, but he's just, yeah, he's got the it factor. wait. Are you saying that I have Bruiser Brody energy? Oh, no, you're saying that, Paul. You're saying Troubles. I misread that. Yeah. I agree with that. Sorry. It's the Jeff show now. Hell yeah, bro. Yeah, people hitting the panic button are just being super dramatic. And yeah, and I get it. Some people take it a different way. You're allowed to. That's fine. I didn't. I'm just looking at there's a bigger picture here. Swerve's going to get that title again. He's going to have it back multiple times. As much as I hate to say he's going to lose it. But yeah, I mean, he's going to be the guy they turn to when they need somebody to step up because he's proven he can handle it. But yeah, Swerve hitting the stomp on the Bucks was I popped, so I marked out for that. I sat down, I shut up, and I marked out. Just, I'll throw it out there. What the hell? Cheap plug for that podcast, right? I'm not above doing that. I'm not above cheap plugs. Just call me Mick Foley. Yeah, the fact that WWE didn't capitalize on Swerve and just kind of thought of him as a mid-level talent to throw in a faction and just kind of go, whatever, and then release him. Like, you had the next big star and you just didn't know what to do. And there's probably other issues, racism, at play in there, but I mean,
Okay, I'm back in here.
Yeah, I was just talking about how WWE fumbled Swerve because he's just
how do you
so good.
They fumbled. Okay, they.
Thank you, Troubles. Thank you, Troubles, for plugging with plugging Skewered Universe. I appreciate that.
I'm catching up on the comments here. Comments blew up while I was away for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. I was like trying to keep up, and I can't put them on screen because I'm not hosting.
Yeah. Swerve Olymp, AEW's biggest star, hands down. Yeah, it's going to be him and Hangman. They're the Rock and Austin of AEW. That's
I'm still waiting for that.
That's just honestly like
I'm still waiting for that team up too because we know it's going to happen.
Do a 2-man power trip with them. I don't care. Put tag titles on them. Put world titles, secondary titles. Give them belts, and just let them dominate for. It doesn't even have to be long. Just a couple months.
It's that confrontation just a few weeks ago where Hangman was yelling at him. He goes, and Swerve just says, "I know." After Hangman says, "You deserved it," it's like Hangman just looking confused, like, okay, you disarmed me. What am I supposed to do now?
Yeah, and it's so. I've had arguments like that in real life. Like that kind of thing hits so close to home. Like when you're just like, you're just so mad, but you just actually do understand the other person, and you just have that moment of, oh yeah, okay, we need to just separate for a second, and then hold on, I'm reading the next. It's a Jeff show now. Hell yeah, bro. People hitting the panic button or being super dramatic. Oh yeah. I mean, well, what do you mean by hitting the panic button before
with Swerve losing?
With Swerve
taking
losing
the title off Mox.
Oh. No, like that's not Yeah.
I mean, like I said, people are allowed
There's
to be
more
upset
story.
at it,
Yeah.
but there's more. There's more to this. There's still more.
I wanted it to happen, but I was like, when it didn't happen, I was like, I wasn't mad about it. It's like, I think I said something. I was like, it's like, I didn't like the ending of Empire Strikes Back, so I'm not going to watch Return of the Jedi. Like, the point of the end of Empire Strikes Back is it ends on a fucking downer note. Yep. Like, it makes you watch the next thing because like, okay, they can't end it here.
Yeah,
they got something going.
This isn't the end of Swerve being in that main event picture.
Mm-mm. And like, I like Swerve's. Move my mic back in here. Get too much room noise. I like Swerve's title run. I don't think it was as good as it could have been. I think. And I think this was actually mostly intentional with the booking. Is he didn't look. He looked like he was built to be somebody that was like, yes, this is a credible champion, but not a dominant champion. He was a scrappy fighting champion that really had to like put the work in to hold on to that title.
I think that
he's got so big. Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't a dominant run.
Mm-hmm. Which they're setting.
I think that's
his next run is going to be the dominant champion type run of like he's really found himself. He's built himself. And God, he looks every time he comes on screen. I'm just like, how much protein are you eating? How many scoops of chicken do you get at Chipotle every day? Yeah, that is because the dude you can easily say WWE fundled Swerve, but they didn't have the Swerve we see now.
Yeah,
that is a different competitor.
Well, those were the things I said when you were away. Is I said they just didn't know what to do with Swerve. They just treated him like a mid-card act to throw in a faction and kind of just forget about him.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're just mediocre. We don't need to even see what you got.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, wait a minute.
They had,
aren't you guys supposed to build stars?
Yeah.
Isn't that your whole thing?
No.
So you don't want to do that. So you just kick them to the side. I also said there might have been other factors like racism involved.
No.
But
I would never.
I mean, I'm just saying.
That's not a thing they would do.
No, not at all. Look at their history. They've never been racially insensitive ever.
Yeah, don't look at what's his name? PCH? Miles, what was his name? Miles Dillon? Was that what they called him?
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. I can't place it. I'm drawing a complete blank.
I gotta look that up real quick. Because I remember that happened. I was like, ooh, that's Dylan. Was it Dylan Miley? What did they?
I'm drawing a complete blank. I don't even know what to search, so I'm not even typing it.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it. Whoa, hey, somebody just. There's.
Yeah, I'd argue that. I mean, they're just taken from AEW at this point. I mean, I hate to say it. And would they have signed Penta and Phoenix if they weren't on AEW week after week? Don't think so. And I think they feel it as, oh, we got one on them. They don't have Penta anymore. It's like, they're not needed. They're really not needed.
Yeah. And the only thing WWE is going to do, and you can look, there's actual history to this. I'm not just pulling this idea out of my ass. The only thing they're going to do with the Lucha Bros is try to make one of them into the next Rey Mysterio. And the other one, they're just cast aside and put him in a LWO or look at a Del Fantasma or whatever and forget about him. And when the one they've decided is the next Rey Mysterio, if they don't immediately become the next Rey Mysterio, they'll just drop him and try to find somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter who is in charge anymore. It matters how the machinery works, and they just know this is the formula for making a top star in whatever division, and we're just gonna use the playbook. And if it doesn't work, we're gonna move on and find somebody else, because obviously the playbook works. Because look, we use the John Cena playbook, and now we have Roman Reigns, and they forget like all the things along the way that proved the playbook wrong.
Yeah.
And they pivoted multiple times, and Roman himself had to go, hey, let me just try something here.
Yeah. I mean, they've never liked people to get over on their own. Look at the Rusev Day thing. That was getting over, and they were like, no, we're supposed to tell the fans what's over. They don't decide what we're going to push. It's like, well, didn't you just a few years ago say the fans were the authority and they would, and then you just basically tell the fans, you don't know what you want. We'll tell you what you want.
Yeah.
It's like, don't tell me what I want. Okay. I know what I like, and I'm going to cheer for who I want to cheer, and I'm going to boo who I want to boo. And if the product's boring, I'm going to turn it off.
Yeah. And it's weird because they understood that during the Attitude Era. Like, they just put people out there and let them have characters, and some people like The Rock, some people liked Austin. They didn't have to push them as face and heel as much. They just were like, here's the character.
Yeah. They always say the best characters are the person just dialed up to 11.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I mean, I was like, you look at the AEW roster and like everybody is at 11. No, not everybody. I mean, but most of the people.
Jericho.
Jericho's at this weird like, oh, I'm at 11. I'm like, no, yeah, but it's a weird old amp with bad tubes.
Yeah,
like you gotta.
We've had the electrical tape the plug so many times.
Yeah, just put it in the shop for a minute, and we can figure it out. We'll figure it out later.
The power switch is broken. We got to use a screwdriver to turn it on.
Yeah, this thing's running on electrical tape and prayers. Like,
I'm just waiting for Bill and Keith to just destroy him, or at least for Bill to destroy him and just go on a tear.
Yeah, Big Bill needs to just have like a. But I think what Big Bill needs to do is break away from Jericho. He doesn't have to turn on Brian Keith. He can just leave him alone.
No. Yeah.
But he needs to go on a tear of like. They need to do just a series of like lower card matches where he can just run in and wreck everybody, just as like, I'm just proving myself as my own man. More than a man. Like,
have him do what they're doing with Bane. Do 2-on-1 matches.
That's good too.
Do 3-on-1 matches. Do these things where it's like you're like, oh, the numbers are against him, but it's Bill. This is probably going to be brutal.
He could be a fun squash wrestler. Just laying people out. That's all you need to do with him. It's just let him lay people out for a while, and then give him some good like upper mid card things to do.
I'm just happy we get to see him on TV again, because I did like the Enzo and Cass stuff before we found out how Enzo was. I liked Cass.
Yeah.
But then he had, all his issues, and I was like, are we going to see him back? And I'm just happy he appears to be happy, healthy, and having fun.
And he's really the only good thing in the Learning Tree skits. Because, just him parroting Jericho was actually more entertaining than anything Jericho said.
Mm-hmm.
And him just being like, I'm the good student. Yes.
Yeah, because as Chris Jericho always says.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, oh my God, okay.
Yeah.
What are you doing now?
Yeah, that was and he's finally able to like, okay, he's got some character and he's getting more comfortable. He's allowing himself to be goofy.
And that's one thing about AEW. They let people figure it out on the mic.
Yeah.
They're not going, okay, we're going to send you to classes because you need to be heavily scripted and we're going to
Mm-hmm.
teach you the cadence and how to speak.
Yeah.
So I know people said that about Mercedes when she got over to AEW. I'm like, she just has to get out of WWE mode and look at where she is now.
Yeah.
They're like, just work through it. And she has.
She has done a great job.
And
because she's gone from like that WWE cadence to actually using that cadence and blending it in with that girl boss LinkedIn style of talking. And because like when she came in, I was like, I'm not feeling this. I get what they're trying to do with it. I'm just not, it's not connecting. And then slowly she started like, her in-ring work started pulling away from that WWE TV style.
Yeah, the very safe.
Yeah, the TV match
slower
style.
pace.
Yeah, and then it started getting better, a lot more, like snappy, fast-paced, getting back to the that Japanese style that she's actually really good at. And then the mic work started getting out of the WWE like TV cadence and into like the girl boss thing, but like mixing it in a way that's like actually getting her heat, like genuine heat when she talks.
Yeah, and people are like, "Oh, she's not good on the mic." I'm like, "She's playing you. You're being played right now. She's doing her job.
She's so good on the mic. You're getting mad about the fact that she's bad at the mic.
I didn't think she could ever be that good. I thought she was going to get better, but I was like, I didn't know she could be that good.
Yeah.
It's the same with Ricochet.
Oh, Ricochet is a. We've gotten this far into this podcast. We have not talked about Ricochet. How long do you have? Because I'll chop this up into 2 episodes.
I've got like another like 25, 30 minutes probably that I can be on.
Cool. Let's go. Yeah. Let's do 30 minutes because we're at 2 hours 17, but you've only been on here for half of that, even if that.
Yeah.
So I'll chop this up into 2 or 3 episodes. I don't give a shit. Like we're diving down. We're digging down to some good stuff right now. Like this would be the pregame and an actual wrestling podcast.
Yeah, and then we'll eventually circle back to the trios match. But
yeah, the trios match we started talking about all this with. But we got to talk about Ricochet because, like, goddamn, that has been a revelation. That is the most like we took the indie guy that WWE fumbled, and they did.
Oh yeah,
like he peaked in the WWE system in his match against Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Anything you can do, I can do better match.
Yeah, because the thing that keeps running in my head that I remember from Ricochet and WWE is that spot of him coming out of the ring and just landing, coming over the top ropes face to face. It's like, how do you screw that up?
That's all you have to do with his character at that point is like, I am the guy that can do these things. You can't. I am going to out athleticize you, if that's a word. And then they try to do all these other things with him. They try to do all these other character things. And it's like, no, it's so simple. It's right there. But
they didn't know what to do.
They're like, oh, we're going to make him a superhero. Like, no, dude, just, you don't have to make him in anything. Let him wrestle for a while.
Yeah.
You know?
Let him show what he can do. If you want to put him on the main roster, just give him a few matches to show what he's capable of.
Yeah. I will say, like, he did really good in the tag team with Aleister Black. That was a lot of fun because you had Aleister Black who could just, like, he's getting weird, menacing promos, and then Ricochet in the background as a hype man going, yeah, like what he said. And I mean, you look back now, that's the genesis of the Ricochet character.
Yeah.
Of just being like, I'm not really that big and bold and confident in my own, but like I can find my moments to be like, yeah, fuck you, I can do that, whatever.
his character right now is that kid in the schoolyard who runs his mouth, but knows that if he runs it to the wrong people, he's not going to be able to back it up.
Yep.
But he's going to do everything he can to try and talk his way out of it.
Yeah. We had a little weird disconnect there. Let me double check. Let me make sure we're still
out of time. Live and recording.
Yeah, I'm just making sure we're still going on Twitch over there. But yeah, I mean, that's the Ricochet character. That's exactly what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, give me a second, real quick. I'm gonna jump over to the Twitch stream I got going. Make sure this is good.
Yeah.
Actually, if anybody is still in chat, you can tell us how it's running there. This says recording. It still says recording on my end here, but I'm getting buffering when I look over at the Twitch stream. You're good. Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you.
Cool.
All right. Cool.
Thank you, Troubles.
Thank you very much, Troubles. Yeah, Ricochet is just.
It proves that WWE didn't know what to do.
Yeah, they didn't know, and they didn't know what to do, and they weren't really interested in figuring it out. Because
that's why they made him the speed champion or whatever that was.
Yeah, they're just like, we gotta keep you around. We gotta do something with you. We're gonna give you like a nothing title, just to like give you TV time because we just need like an athletic dude on Twitter.
Yeah, a guy who can go fast and do flips. Like,
and we'll give you a speed title. Like what a change, and just doing that character development over the Continental Classic. Mm-hmm. They use a tournament to tell a story about a single character.
Yeah.
That is so smart.
So brilliant. Mm-hmm. So brilliant. And I'd argue some of his best work that came with that was his work with Swerve. Stealing the robe, just getting even more cocky, and he's still that same cocky Ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like he gets his ass kicked.
No, yeah, that Swerve program, that made him. That set him.
The toilet paper stuff, Swerve mocking him, and then the turn, and then stealing that robe and when he showed up with his logo on the back of the robe. Oh man, I was like, no.
That man's about to die. We're gonna watch a murder.
It's like you done screwed up, man.
You've crossed the line. I love that whole thing. I've been a Ricochet fan, since the NXT days. And I saw him show up. I was like, man, that was
I remember watching him as.
But it was like then I heard a promo. I was like, yeah, I never saw that. I wish I did. But his promos was like, okay, you're not great with the microphone. Like, you just stick to what you're good at. But and I get it. You want to write a guy like that off. Because he's not immediately great on the mic, but give him a minute.
Exactly.
And you gave him a minute, and he gave you a month and a half of just perfect character development.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got on the same page together, and you figured out what his strengths were, and you highlighted them, and you minimized the weaknesses. And it's the most basic ass way to book professional wrestling. And again, like I said, never taken a bump in my life. I just watch a lot of wrestling, and I listen to a lot of people that are a lot smarter than me about wrestling talk about how to do it.
Yeah, same. I've never taken a bump, but That's why I also don't sit there and criticize people that work in the ring. I'm
Yeah,
not going,
I'm not gonna.
look at those botches. I'm like,
Yeah. You botched that move. You botched that move. And it didn't look crisp. I was like, yeah, it didn't look like the people are fighting. The idea is these people are fighting each other. And not everything should look super good. It should look like a struggle. Yeah. It should always look like a struggle.
Exactly.
It should always look like.
If they're going 90 per the entire match, it's not believable.
Yeah. And there's few people like, and again, Ospreay and Takeshita are the only two people that can make that 90-mile-an-hour sprint look like an actual fight the entire time.
Yeah. It's impressive every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Troubles Wrestling Pod, yeah. Feels
like
real. It does feel real. Like
when I see a move and they kind of like topple over and then they go to do it again, I'm like, they just didn't get it right the first time. They'll hit it now.
Exactly.
And then they do.
Yeah.
I'm like, good. You recovered. Perfect.
Yeah, because in my mind immediately goes, the other person was trying to counter, they lost, the hold, and they're just trying to do it again.
Yeah.
And that's how fights work.
Yeah, we're not the people that go, oh, they just don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to wrestle. It's like, okay, then you get in there and do it.
No, yeah. And it's like, I've been in actual fights. I've swung at people and didn't connect. So you know what I did? I try to swing again. I keep swinging until one of them connects. Yeah. That's what you do in a fight.
Exactly.
You're trying to do something to injure somebody, and many times as it takes to get it in, you do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you slip, you get up, or you try to take them down with you.
You figure out something else, and then you do that. And if that doesn't connect, you try to figure out something else. Real fights don't look like Dragon Ball, and it's the only thing I have to reference right now because it's fresh on my mind because I love that show. I grew up on it. I grew up on Dragon Ball and wrestling. Like, it's something you should know about me, probably, if you're watching this broadcast. Hey, so where were we? Where do we want to go? We've got,
So we talked about Swerve taking out the Bucks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and him coming out. Just that.
Him throwing him into the crowd.
Shut up, dude. I love DBZ and wrestling. We're best friends, man. This whole broadcast has been just my new internet best friends, like all jumping on together and talking. Like, of course, that's not even a question.
That's the most fun. That's the most fun.
Yeah. So here's I'm doing this from the we got a co-working space in my apartment complex. That's why I got the Bed Bath & Beyond artwork behind me.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So it's weird. Like, I've been just down here by myself the entire time, and there's like random people walking around. What do you? How much are you hearing about? You're hearing half a conversation, but what are you hearing?
That's always the question.
Yeah, and they just walked in about the time. I'm like, I've been in a fight before. And they're just trying to get coffee. There's like a coffee machine across from me, and they're just like trying to get coffee, and they're just like some dude's like, I've been in a fight before, and if you can't hit somebody, you just swing again, and if you can't do it, you swing again. And it sounds like JR just trying to like explain a Steve Austin fight.
You stop a mud hole in there.
Stop a mud hole in your butthole. I started the cast. I was like, hey, let's try to keep things PG-13. And somebody immediately let off an F-bomb, and it was like, all right, fuck it, we're going. Hey, this is recording.
I've tried to keep it as clean as possible because trust me, I curse like a sailor.
Yeah. But I got a recording it, streaming, and I'll just if I want to keep it uploaded for good, I'll maybe do some edits. I don't know if I care. I don't expect this to ever get monetized, so I'm not too worried about it. I'll just make sure I bleep anything because apparently it's like after 5 minutes, it's not a YouTube at least.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got wrestling to talk about, which we've been kind of circling around for an hour.
Yeah, the ending sequence of this match,
where
you have Castagnoli and Shibata on the ramp.
Oh, that was good. That was
Shibata.
I love how they led into that. Yeah.
You have Joe looking for a muscle buster on was it on Mox? But Yuta comes in.
Yeah.
And he goes and dives on Hobbs after stopping the Muscle Buster. But he gets slammed into the desk. You have Shafir hitting Hobbs with a chair.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that stings. And then Willow decapitating Shafir with a lariat. She came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I didn't see her moving, and all of a sudden there she is, and I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
She moved with purpose.
They've gotten really good at picking camera angles to hide run-ins.
Yeah.
That's keep going.
And what I love is you have Hobbs on the outside, who's taking out Yuta. You have Shibata on the ramp with the sleeper hold on Castagnoli. Mox goes to hit Joe. Joe slips out, Coquina clutch, and that's it.
And it was
as
such
soon as
a
he hit it, I went,
quick-
"Oh, he's got the." I was like, "What? Coquina clutch? That's what?"
And okay, Mox put that clutch over so good because he put him in it and dropped, and he was done. There wasn't even like that old school like 3 counts. It was just like he just looked at Mox. Rep, who was the rep of that match? I forgot.
I think it was Bryce.
Bryce,
It was Bryce.
God, Bryce Rims were getting something right for once. Just looked at it. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm talking shit about Bryce Remsburg. But just that he just looked, he was like, he's done. He just call it. He's dead. But he went out so fast.
So fast.
And that sold that Coquina clutch as a death move.
Mm-hmm.
And as people say whatever they want to about Moxley, if he wants to put something over, he'll do it.
Oh, yeah.
And he won't even flinch about it.
This is not a guy who's looking to leave AEW. This is not a guy who is bored with AEW. This is a guy who's trying to tell a story and will do what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
I just feel bad that it stalled for so long. And now we're finally seeing where it's going.
Yeah. And it's not his fault. Like you can tell there were things they wanted to do. Again, yeah, Joe is the GOAT. Well, that's finished. Good.
As soon as he locked it in, I was like, we're gonna have new champs. And then it was, done.
Yeah. And the celebration, they celebrated. And okay.
That
the finish felt like their version of Cody finishing his story last year.
Yeah.
They had the schmoz finish, but it made sense. All the characters that came in made sense for the story they were telling. And then the big celebration. Like they did this episode as like we're doing 2 things with this episode. We are proving why we outlasted Nitro, and we are making WrestleMania step up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they didn't, and they. You can say they didn't mean to do it, but they kind of did.
Yeah.
It's not obvious, but it's kind of like, hey,
it's like
we can see what you're doing there. Yeah. Beat it. Step up right now.
I don't think any of us were expecting those titles to change hands on Dynamite. No. I figured there was going to be, when the Bucks came out, I'm like, okay, this is going to be some weird finish.
Yep.
Writers are going to retain.
The Bucks are the cheat code for a non-title finish.
But they didn't do it, and they pulled the trigger. And I like this because the ops have been, we're just going to challenge anybody because we're 3 guys who can kick ass.
Yeah.
So we don't care.
Yeah. So we'll just go out and just challenge people. Just have fun.
And Hobbs fits in because, like I said, there was the program with Moxley last year where he got injured. So he's looking to get something back. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the locker room emptying. It's like, oh, somebody's actually beat the Death Riders clean.
Yeah.
Mox isn't the one true king.
Mm-hmm.
And even so much.
And that's another thing that made it really decisive is, you didn't want to see Pat get hurt. But every time AEW has an injury, they're able to bring somebody in that makes the story better. Because having Joe choke out Mox makes the cracks in the Death Riders even better. That makes a better story.
So much so
and every time.
Go ahead.
Their AEW has been so good about this, even like accidentally, basically. So like Jay White got hurt. Kevin Knight was right there to step into his place in the tournament.
Yeah.
He was just there. He was just there ready to go. Like, and it was just like, oh shit, we lost a guy, but we just debuted somebody, put him in. It's perfect. It just pieces fall together, and you can do that. You can do that when you have the right pieces around, and you're actually working and building people correctly.
Exactly.
If you know what you're doing, things look purposeful instead of accidental.
Because I think had Pac not got injured, this still possibly plays out the same way. But I think Claudio would have been choked out because he would have been the strongest one.
Yeah, it would have been Claudio.
He's like the second in command.
Yeah, he's the enforcer.
Unfortunate things happen. So what do? You have the leader go down. The guy who is shown, he gets a little scared every now and then. He talks a good game, but Mox is fearful. Yeah. He knows he's not the end all. That there's somebody that can. And Joe just proved, like, I'll choke you out.
Yeah, and you don't lose anything getting put to sleep by Joe.
No,
because he's Joe. He's been a champion.
Exactly.
It's not like, oh, just this mid-card dude put you to sleep. Like, no, he's been the world champion. Like, somebody on your level.
He's held that same title. He's in that main event picture. So these are two guys who have held that title going at it.
Yeah. TWW Pod. This is the opposite of the debut of Nitro main event where Big Bubba just did the job like a fool to Hogan and Luger came out, so it didn't mean anything. This was about the match. Sorry to shoehorn that in. No, that's perfect. Like, that's that's why we had you on here earlier. Like, you know these things.
It was so good to see that happen, and to see the locker room empty and they're like celebrating because we know this is starting the imminent demise of the Death Riders.
Oh yeah,
the cracks are there. Even it's like even the next night of Collision when they came out and Mox was talking, I was like, yeah, but your ass got choked out, so maybe you're the weak link in the Death Riders, Mox. And don't get me wrong, I love Mox. I'm a huge Mox fan.
Oh yeah,
but at the same time, I'm like, Joe choked you out, dude. How are you going to spin this?
Yeah.
Nobody else took the pin. You're the one who lost that match for him. You stepped in thinking you were going to be the guy to retain, but you lost it.
Yeah. You're the guy that hides behind everybody, then keeps his title in a briefcase, which I don't believe that title's in that briefcase.
No, I keep thinking it's too small.
It's too
small of a briefcase.
It's too small. It's too light. But anyway, you hide behind everybody and keep your title in briefcase.
It's some of the documents that the Bucks didn't get to shred.
Exactly, yeah. But you try to prove yourself in that trios match. You're like, yeah, I'll take over. I'll be part of the trios match. It's fun. Nobody can beat. No, you got beat. Yeah. And then they saw you get beat right in front of them. And they realized why you've been hiding behind them.
Because everything he said about everyone else is him talking about himself.
Yep.
The egos, not being able to step up, not being able to do it. He's all talking about himself.
Every accusation is an admission.
Yep. And it's just such a good twist in the story. I mean, it sucks that Pac had to get injured for this to happen.
Yeah, but
it just, I think, leveled up the story of the Death Riders.
It did, because nothing about this story nothing about how this story started has come to plan. There's a way more eloquent way to say what I'm trying to say. There were ideas for this story, and every step of the way did not work out. And the only thing that's kept it together was that Mox can talk his way out of a corner. He's that good at talking.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I do like how they played up Pac's injury, saying Swerve took him out.
Yeah,
they're like Swerve single-handedly dismantled
Swerve,
Pac to take one of the legs out from the Death Riders.
Sorry, I was trying to get on track with what I was saying, but I saw the comments. I'm like, these are good comments. I got to put these up too. Yeah, but the story, you know, we all know this by now. They had an idea. We don't know what that idea was, but they had an idea when they started the story. That idea fell through. They had to pivot, and then it kept having to pivot. And Mox has had to consistently talk his way out of the corner every time, and he's really good at it. And I've enjoyed almost all of his promos the entire time because I just like watching that guy talk. He's got this weird. He's got this weird like gangly Fight Club energy to his promos. That's just super fun to just like. If you don't take it super seriously and you're just like, yeah, man, I just want to watch like you just enjoy it like an 80s action movie monologue, like a villain.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to put it.
Yeah, if you just enjoy it on that level, it's great. It's so much fun to just like, yeah, like say, I'm John Moxley and I'm going to do things and you don't understand what's coming for you, but I do. And here's the thing, as I'm going to take this place, I'm going to put it on my back and I'm going to drag you all along with me. And cool, give me that. That's fun. That's fucking wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, enjoy it for what it is. But like they had to pivot so many times. And they did, and they've kept the pivots going. And it's like, okay. And we're getting to the point now, it's like, okay, like let's just one last pivot and let's start winding this down.
Yeah.
And they kind of had to find the perfect point of like, you know, Pat getting hurt was like, it's all right. You're like, now we're going to have to put Moxley into the trios division, and we were already planning on moving those belts over. So, yeah, this is our excuse to pivot.
I wouldn't even be surprised if they talked this over. If TK was talking to everyone involved and Mox said, I'll be the guy to go. I'll be the guy to take the pin. I'll take the loss. I'll be the guy.
Oh yeah, no. Like I fully believe in the meeting to do this match. TK was like, yeah, we'll just have you to take the choke, and he'll take the loss, and you'll lose the belts, and he'll keep you guys strong. And Moxley was like, no, I'm taking it.
See, it would make too much sense to have Yuta take the loss.
Exactly, because
it's happened before.
Again, he has been, as somebody just said, where'd that Pac was the sacrificial lamb. And I think it was for a while it was Yuta.
Yeah, Yuta's been the whipping boy.
He was the pin eater. Yeah. And he was the whipping boy. He was, and that was but that was also a storyline for him. That was his role as being the pin eater, being the sacrificial lamb.
And there's been glimpses of him trying to be rational at times, like trying to cool Claudio down, and Claudio pushing him and being like, don't get in my face, know your place.
Yeah.
And even Mox telling him, like, step down.
Yeah.
And Yuta would back off. So it would make too much sense for Yuta to take that and be choked out and lose.
Yeah. Yeah. I would actually like to see after this. And again, I was trying to watch Collision. Stuff came up and I wasn't able. I would actually like to see Yuta at this point, like, start kind of getting in Mox's face about like, hey, you lost my title.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had a fucking belt around my waist and you lost it for me, and you don't even wear your title. That to me, that's a story. That's a story you could take.
Yeah, because this sets up Yuta being like, wait a minute, what's all this bullshit you were telling me?
Yeah.
And
you made me the whipping boy. You made me the whipping boy for all this time, only for you to lose my title that I earned with these other people. And you came in, and the first time you come in, you lose it for all of us. And then Claudio's like, oh, well, yeah, you did kind of fuck us. There's so many directions I could go with this. That's
I think Yuta might be the first dissenter if they do it.
absolutely.
Claudio will kind of stick around for a bit, but then possibly just
Claudio is he's got that ride or die lieutenant, like right hand man kind of thing, and that's exactly what he should be for as long as they can ride that part of that story out.
It's just I'm invested again to see where this goes. Because
Yeah.
I was just patient, like, okay, when are they going to get to the meat of this story again?
Mm-hmm.
It's like we saw the Bucks shredding stuff when the Death Riders showed up. We're like, okay, what's happening? And then the Bucks disappeared. I know there were injuries they were recovering from.
Yeah.
Fine. But it was like start, stop. So like you said, the pivots. So this finally feels like they're gaining traction again with this. And we know this is going to be the end. Because you don't have them drop those titles if you're going to continue on.
Yeah, no, you don't do that. And exactly, that's why this is such a good place to start actually moving the story to the natural conclusion of it. And you got an idea?
I just thought of something. So we know, like, Yuta's going to probably be mad. Claudio will probably be like, okay, well, you did lose it, but there's a bigger thing here. What if Shafir ends up being the one to cost Mox that title at some point? She's been his, like, security. She's been the one to get between him and others. What if she's the one that really goes, oh, you're not what you said you are? And she ends up maybe helping to cost him that title at some point. I don't know. It may be stupid, but I'm just thinking.
No. I like that. That's not stupid. I like that a lot.
Or if he looks to her to do something and she just puts her hands up, drops the case, and walks off. Like, nope, I'm done.
So okay, that gives me an idea of how I would book this. We're gonna get fantasy booking. We're doing a lot in this in this episode that I did not expect to do. I'm gonna go into some fantasy booking. Mox gets choked out by Samoa Joe. We just saw that they lose the trios titles. Marina Shafir gets the ick seeing him get choked out. Like, I've never seen that happen to you. Because he's usually the one choking people out.
Yeah,
he's done that bulldog choke to Cope twice.
Yeah, he's used it effectively throughout his AEW run.
Yeah, he's been very. And now Marina's seen him get choked out. Like, oh, you lose a little of your luster, your Superman untouchable,
and choked out quickly. Like he wasn't trying to fight it. As Joe locked it in,
you got taken out immediately by that choke. So she gets the ick. So she loses a lot of respect. She kind of no-sells it for a minute. And then like you were saying, like the next time she's up to bat to keep him safe from somebody taking a title, she sees him getting choked out in the ring and just goes, nah, I'm not saving you. You gotta save yourself. You're not worth saving. Everything you've done, everything you've told us, everything you've tried to build up about yourself and the Death Riders, like, if you can't save yourself, you're not worth saving. You can get choked out. I'll let you get choked out right there. I don't know. That's me.
Yeah. I'm with that. I mean, it would only make sense because she was the first one to be there.
Yeah.
She was like the first one aligned with him. And then we see Claudio and Yuta. We knew Claudio and Yuta were going to be a part of it, but we didn't see them yet.
Yeah.
Because we're like, is it still Blackpool combat? What's happening? And then it fully formed, but she was one of the first ones we saw with him walking out.
Yeah. Like her audition was like that. Okay, this is not Blackpool Comic Club. This is something different. This is the Death Riders now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's good stuff.
Yeah, I just, I mean, that's, that's where I would take it, is like, all right, like, because, but it just, I feel like it lines up because he did use that choke as a finisher. This kept the title on him, and plus, the shenanigans from everybody else, and then, seeing him get put into a choke and losing should logically, story-wise, make the people around him see cracks in his his armor.
Start questioning that leadership. And it would make sense that Shafir would lose respect for him because she knows what it takes to legit choke somebody out.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been using, what is it, like a reverse version of the coquina, the mother's milk, they call it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, she would know. So it does make sense. I like what you were throwing out there. But yeah, that celebration by the locker room, the twofold, it being surpassing Nitro.
Yeah.
Haha, Bischoff.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. And that's okay.
The imminent demise of the Death Riders on the horizon.
Yeah.
But finally, AEW seeing, we're not under threat of these guys anymore. They can be beaten.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna have to do. Let's get a couple minutes of just. We gotta dunk on Eric real quick, because that's what I got into. When I got in the chat, I was like, "Hey, we're gonna do a stream. We're just gonna dunk on Eric Bischoff the entire time." And then we've actually had like really good conversations about wrestling, and video games and other stuff. But like, okay, let's take the last 5-10 minutes, whatever we're up to, whatever we feel like, and just hey, Eric Bischoff. Yeah, jump back in then. You got the link. Just click the link again. Jump back in here.
Come on back.
Yeah. Why would you spend so much of your time and energy to shit on something? And I'm saying this to Eric Bischoff because he did that grifter thing where he's like, well, AEW is not going to last past, whatever date, or like however many episodes, or, this is the end of the company because all these things are happening. And I'm Eric Bischoff. And I know what I'm talking about with wrestling. I'm like, no, you fucking don't, dude.
Remember, 52 weeks.
Well, it's 83 weeks.
83
and then they just fell off a fucking cliff.
83. Sorry, 52 for some reason was in my head. See, I don't even care to remember the correct number.
Yeah, you can't even remember the name of his podcast that was so important to the history of wrestling.
Oh, God. Didn't he bankrupt a couple other ventures outside of wrestling as well?
Oh, definitely. I mean,
like a real estate thing or something,
or like, I don't know, TNA.
Oh man. Oof.
I was gonna have my buddy Jeff was supposed to join us. I was talking about that earlier, but he's had class, and he was like, I'm gonna go home and take a nap, and if I don't make it, I'm sorry. I'm like, okay, cool. But he was an old TNA dude. Like he was in the TNA, so I was like, oh, he'll be fun to have on this. Just talk about like Joker Sting and like all the weird Bischoff era TNA shit. But like, and Eric Bischoff is more successful as a human being than I am. And I will not take that away from him. But he's also had opportunities I've never had. So you can't take that away from me. I'm taking my opportunity right now and just talking shit on the internet for 2 hours and 54 minutes so far. And I've had a lot of friends join me to do that. So I think right now, we're on equal footing, Bischoff. So fuck you. But
right there.
I've never bankrupted a fucking wrestling company. I then
Nope.
and then been invited to be a guest participant in 2 other wrestling companies, and then that not turn into a long-term job. And then after that, try to spin my name value into a podcast based on my small period of relevancy and what's the word I want to look for here? Victory.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never had 83 weeks of being better than my competitor. Or anything,
Your
but
fleeting
also,
moment in the spotlight.
Yeah, my fleeting moment in spotlight. Thank you. That's
the blip on the radar of
the
pro
blip
wrestling.
on the radar of pro wrestling. Yeah. Eric Bischoff had 83 weeks where he beat WWE in the WWF WWE in the ratings versus the next 30 fucking years of complete dominance they had. You won some ratings battles. They built a fucking empire.
Yeah.
And then you got mad at the one company that tried to challenge them because they didn't want to do things your way.
They brought you in. They're like, hey, you've been in pro wrestling. We're going to extend an olive branch to you to come over here to AEW, do something for us. You agreed.
What was that?
And then when they didn't let you take over and do the Bischoff thing, you started crying. Oh,
No.
Jilted lover. Get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Khan didn't want you there. He knows you're toxic. He wanted to bring you in as a character for an angle to take part in. And I didn't mind Bischoff showing up for that one thing. I wouldn't have minded if they worked out something where he came out a few more times doing something similar. And that would be it. Do not let him touch creative. Much like how they haven't let Jeff Jarrett run roughshod over everything.
Well, because they watch TNA and they realize they watch TNA and they know
TK's smart. He's got a mind for wrestling. He's a huge fan. He's a huge mark for it. But he's got the mind for it. And he's like, I don't want these guys ruining my fun.
Yeah. No, he gets it.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Trouble. Trouble is back on the pod with us. We're just doing a marathon. We're doing a marathon.
Okay.
That's
fine. My wife.
I'm having such a great time talking to y'all. This has been
a lot of fun.
This has been the best way to kick this off. Like not every episode of the pregame is going to go this long or just be this off the rails, but this is a good way. This is a fun way to kick it off.
I can talk, man. I just talk.
No, that's great. Yeah. Like
Let's see.
I'm good as being like a host type. I'm just like, hey, here's some topics, like, and I just get people that can talk a lot more about them, and then I can do all the segues and do all the fancy stuff.
You're the man, dude.
Yeah, I can do all that stuff, but I just need people I can just set people up to talk, and then I can do jump and be like, well, actually, jumping on to what you just said, I can say a couple other things too, and then I can segue.
Well, you mentioned.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, actually.
Yeah. And then at the end, my name's right here, and I take all the credit. Because that's what Eric Bischoff
Dave Meltzer
and Eric Bischoff would do.
I mean, your name is on the podcast, so
I'm on a carny motherfucker.
You're the guy here, old Kurt Jangle. You're the man around these parts, buddy. But I had to jump on here, man. When you mentioned, saying old F you to old Eric Bischoff, I got to jump on anything doing that.
What is it? What is it? The Discord.
You sound so much different with an actual mic and not pushing a card around. This is turning into ASMR podcast. Like, I want to talk to you real quick.
Yeah, this is actually how I sound, folks. Gravelly and shitty, horrifyingly bad is what I sound like. But that's all right.
Well,
I've been doing it for
I like it. I'm kind of like
too long, actually. I've been doing podcasts so long. I'm one of those guys. You know what I am, guys? I'm DDP of this shit. All right. I'm a guy. I've been doing podcasts so long with no return and no notoriety that people would be shocked how long I've done podcasts. I've been doing podcasts probably since, no exaggeration, 2012 off and on.
Shit.
It's insane. Like, I was that guy, man. I jumped on early and then I just kind of crashed and burned. And now I'm an old man on the internet, which is kind of cool. Eric Bischoff, another old man on the internet, and he sucks, guys. How about that?
There it is. There's. See, that's the old
ramble
school.
on. My God, I don't know what happened to me. I had like a stroke for a second. That was weird.
Yeah, that was a great segue. That's old school. Like that's old school podcast segue. Speaking of old guys, Eric Bischoff's a fucking dick.
Yeah. Speaking of old guys, let's dance on that Eric Bischoff grave, folks.
Yeah. No. Okay. This is the last segment of this podcast. We're at 3 hours now. I don't give a shit. Like, let's go. Let's fucking go. I'm gonna ride this. I'm gonna ride this train until y'all tap out.
Hey, Bischoff, what's your favorite scary movie?
Yeah, man. What is your favorite scary movie? Well, this guy Tony Khan was born.
No.
That's his scary movie.
Oh,
Mankind's about to get the championship belt. That'll put butts in seats.
that's the thing I was going to say. You have to remember, Shivani made the call, but who was telling him to do it?
That was Bischoff. Bischoff. Just like that was your genius fucking move.
Ton of doubt.
God, that's the thing that proves that more than anything that really proves Eric Bischoff was out of touch even when he was in the middle of it with what the professional wrestling market, the fans gave a shit about.
Because
everybody
was really wanting Mick to win that title.
Yeah,
I didn't care if it was going to be a short reign or what, but it's like the work he had done. It's like he deserves to win this title. Yeah. And then you hear them going, "Oh, they pre-tape." So if you go over there, a guy who used to work here, Mick Foley, is going to win their title.
Mick Foley's winning the title. That'll put butts in seats.
I immediately turned the channel in the middle of him saying it. Mick Foley won. I went, he won the belt. Okay.
Well, I didn't turn the channel because I was already watching.
Yeah, me too.
I was loyal.
You know, that's the whole problem with being a mark that I have. So I was watching everything else.
I flipped over every once in a while, but I would always go back.
Yeah.
And I think one of the times I flipped over and then immediately was like, it was the Chucky thing going on.
Oh, yeah. That was bad stuff right there. Was that Rick Steiner that got possessed or something? What? Oh,
yeah.
Lord. WCW is terrible.
You get to talk to a pre-taped Chucky on the Tron.
And I know people will be like, but AEW did that Leatherface thing. I'm like, yeah. Was it cheesy? Of course. Did they know it was going to be cheesy? Yes.
Yeah,
and they don't keep doing things like that.
Sometimes wrestling companies do bad stuff just because they're like doing bad stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it happens. It does happen. And that's like, I will always be the person, and I'm saying this because this is my podcast, and I have to say this.
You can do literally whatever you want.
It's part of the fucking mission statement. I love the things I love. I want to talk about the things I love, but I will criticize the things I love when they need to be better.
Yeah.
But I'm also not going to put up clickbait titles about the ship is sinking, AEW is going downhill, super fat. Like, I'm not doing that. Because I'm an adult and I know how to talk to things.
You're the only adult on the internet.
I'm the only adult on the internet. Till somebody proves me fucking wrong.
It's probably true.
I'm not an adult on the internet.
Yeah.
No, neither am I.
Yeah, I'm not.
And also,
this is all glued on, actually.
I like that y'all are playing into the bit.
Dude, I
hope everybody else.
I'm an old theater kid, brother.
Everybody, I am too. So I get that. Yeah. But I hope that everybody else that comes on is like, I know I'm not an adult. Like, and I'll be like, it's fine, and that's fine. I'll let you talk your shit, and I'll just be the one that's like, Well, yeah, but things can happen sometimes, and we don't have to be so quick to judge and da.
It's not even that big of a deal, folks.
It's not really that big of a deal. It's not really big deal. Oh, so got buried because they lost a match. No, they lost a match, man. Like I'm a baseball fan, and the Texas Rangers lose a lot of fucking ball games. They lose a lot of fucking ball games, but they do have a World Series.
Ooh.
Angels, yeah, most of the Rangers' losses are the Angels or the Mariners. So you and Blade just like goddamn the both of you.
Both of y'all about to be mad at me.
Both of y'all
about to be mad at me because I am a true and blue Boston Red Sox fan, guys.
No, I'm good with the Red Sox.
That's
suffering.
Red Sox.
If you were a pinstripe bitch, I'd be.
Yeah, no. If you were a Yankees fan, I'd kick you off the skull.
I roast every Yankees fan I've ever met in my life. I will roast you, folks. If you are a Yankees fan, I'll look right into the camera to say this.
Yeah.
I will roast you to your face, online, on social media. I'll do it straight up to you.
Being a Yankees fan is just like I'm a fan of the most popular thing.
Yeah.
It's just like telling me you're a fan of like a CBS sitcom.
Yeah.
My favorite thing in the world is what CBS puts on at 7 p.m.
If your favorite pizza is just, I like me a Pizza Hut pizza. Okay, I got it. You're a Yankees fan, right? Yeah. Or Dodgers, by the way. I'll throw that out there too. Dodgers, same thing. Yeah. Like, like no one's a Dodgers fan. What are you talking about? 88-year-old guys are Dodgers fans that are real Dodgers fans. All right, guys.
Yeah, because they've seen the Dodgers since they were in
Brooklyn,
Piss Hole, Tennessee, or whether the Dodgers started.
Brooklyn, like some crime time stuff.
Like I've been a fan of the Angels since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay, I grew up not far from Angel Stadium. Yeah. So I've seen it go through its metamorphosis as Edison
you remember
Field.
The California Angels.
Yeah, I had a summer. Yeah. I had one summer where I watched Angels in the Outfield every day.
Of course, man. We all had that.
My VHS, my clamshell VHS of Angels in the Outfield. I watched that every day one summer.
Please don't think that is how we all are. But I still remember 2002 Angels win the World Series.
Yeah.
Dude.
I, a lifelong fan, start getting accused by people of being a bandwagon. No. So I go, okay, throw me a year and ask me who was on the Angels. And they're like, oh, what about in the 80s? I'm like, so do you want to talk about like Devon White, Wally Joyner, Mike Witt, Kirk McCaskill, Jack Howell? Who else you want to throw at me? And they're like, oh, you could have looked that up. I'm like, no, I remember because I've been watching this team. That's what I hate is when people accuse me of being a bandwagon fan. And Yankees fans, the majority are bandwagon because the Steinbrenners just bought championships.
Well, and I'm a 49ers fan too, by the way. And for the real deal, the last Super Bowl the 49ers ever won, guess what? First Super Bowl I ever watched in my life. Yep. So I've waited my entire adult life to see them win one more. They have yet to do it, and they're a long way away. So when people want to be like, well, the Niners have been to like 58 conference. Yeah, I know. I've been counting. And we've been to so many Super Bowls as well and failed miserably and looked horrible. And we are horrible. So it's like, I get it 100%. It's like, yeah, I know because I was there when they won the thing and no one else cared. All right. They beat Natron Means San Diego Chargers team, folks. Stan Humphries from Louisiana Tech or whatever was the quarterback. Get out of my face. Yeah.
Yeah, when I did watch the NFL, I was a Cowboys fan. So,
no, we're gonna go ahead and ignore that you said that.
They were the first team I sat down and actually watched.
I get it.
Yeah.
So I hadn't watched football before that, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, these guys are good." Then people were like, "Oh, you only like them because they're winning," but I was like, "They're just the first team I watched. I didn't care. I don't want to watch the Raiders."
100%.
I'm gonna absolve you of that. I've grown up in DFW. Even people here only care about the Cowboys when they win.
Of course, dude.
People will pretend they give a shit about the Cowboys. Nobody gives a fuck about the Cowboys.
Here's the thing about winning. Anyone that is from around that area, and I will go ahead and say, I mean, not from around that area, but I'm from where the University of Arkansas is, and they play in Dallas like 58 times a year because Jerry Jones is the richest hog of all time. Who picks me, by the way? But anyway, I'm being biased. So I'll say this about Dallas. No one even understands Dallas is the most bandwagon city in the South. They don't care. They could care less. Okay, here's one that everyone forgets. You know what the big college team in Dallas is? SMU. You want to know how you don't know that? Because no one gives a shit about SMU, including Dallas. So I've known that forever. Like Dallas is like, nah. The Stars were good, and still people were like, maybe win us a Stanley Cup and we'll talk to you. It's ridiculous. It's like LA for the South, It's crazy.
Yeah, the Stars got this cup in '99.
Yeah.
And then it's like Stars fans are still like, yeah, we got the Stanley Cup. And like, yeah, it was like 20 fucking years ago. 25 years ago. Like,
that was 900 years ago, buddy.
Yeah, like
they didn't have helmets.
Generations. There's been generations. Like your best player right now was even born when the Stanley Cup.
And I'm by the way, I'm hating on the Stars
like,
right now.
I'm from there. I've been around. Yeah. I remember when we won the fucking cup. I remember when the Mavericks actually won. I remember when the Dallas Cowboys actually won the last Super Bowl. I was here when for the Rangers actually finally won a fucking World Series.
That was pretty cool, actually.
So the best sports moment in my entire life was actually the first year the Texas Rangers were in the World Series, Game 6. And we were 1 out away from winning the entire fucking thing. And I'm at a shitty little dive bar on the ass end of Arlington, probably about 5 miles away from the ballpark.
Yeah.
And our outfielder goes for a catch to the outfield. And if he catches his ball, it's over. We've won. I am standing on a bar stool. This thing is rickety as fuck. Because every foot on the bottom of the stool is a 1/4 inch difference from the other feet of the stool. You just
how they are.
Yeah, that's how they are.
Natural state.
Yeah. Natural state, as you would expect a bar stool to be. And I'm standing on this because I'm about to explode into fireworks of joy and just have a full body orgasm because my team is about to win something I never thought they'd win. Because the Texas Rangers are my only real sports love. And I stand up and I'm like, yeah, and he misses it. And I just drop. Gravity drops me back into the grounds. And before I can react to anything else, because I'm watching a TV in front of me, there's a dude sitting against the wall next to me watching a TV behind me. And as soon as I drop into my chair, he reaches in and just grabs me and hugs me. I'm just like, it's okay. We can still do this.
That's some real sports shit right there.
That man saved my life.
I totally understand.
Anytime I'm in a down mood, I think about the fact that the lowest sports moment of my life, a stranger grabbed me and went, we can still do this. And that is what sports are important for.
Yeah.
You can get that. You can get it from baseball. You can get it from basketball. You can get it from hockey. And you can get it from professional fucking wrestling. That's why we're here.
You can't get it from Eric Bischoff.
You cannot get it from Eric Bischoff.
No, he is out of the loop.
He gave up.
He is a whiny little baby.
He brought in the Ultimate Warrior when he was washed, and we can never.
But the One Warrior Nation, OWN, Hogan in the mirror, and
the Man in the Mirror. Yeah,
no,
not good.
Like,
not
did you
good.
not?
That's
know
like the Rangers dropping. Warrior didn't do himself any favors, but yeah,
He did not.
I
He
mean,
did not. God, I
Zerp-
love the Ultimate Warrior when he was at his, and he
Me
was at
too,
his,
buddy.
his peak. But God,
I was a kid,
A lot
so
of
I
us
didn't know
did.
any
there
better.
was, yeah, there was,
Of course, he's a big roided up guy in the '90s, and we love that,
yeah,
man.
it's all tassels and
Yeah,
Oh,
I
Castle.
wanted Warrior to beat Hogan in that match, and he did. And I was like, good.
and everybody's
I'm
happy.
part Native American, so I was all about the war dance thing. I was all there, man. I was like, let's do it. Let's
His
get it
reworked version
righty.
of the Rockers entrance theme.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like, yeah, it was the B side of the Rockers theme. How great was that too? It's
When
like
I
how
figured that out, I went, wait a minute. And
wasn't
then I
it
started
Brad
thinking about-
Armstrong? Brad Armstrong had Goldberg's theme first. Is that the whole thing, right?
Everybody had everybody else's theme for a minute until somebody made
I
it
love
like
that.
their
I
own
love that.
thing.
What was it the Patriot had Kurt Angle's theme?
Yes,
Yeah.
he did. I remember that because I was
Yeah.
so into WWF in '97 when everyone gave up on him, when WCW was the hottest thing in the world. I was like,
you
no.
You were hanging on. You kept them afloat.
Yeah. Bulldog, that flag match with Vader, and I think it was, oh God, it was Vader and Brett against, no, it was Vader and Patriot against Bulldog and Vader or something.
That's the
in
problem.
a flag match.
The problem with that new generation WWF is like they had so many good people on the roster, but they just had no ideas.
No clue.
They
Bischoff
know-
had the
yeah.
hot hand though.
They didn't know how to use any of them.
Yeah.
Like you have, like you said, Bulldog and Vader, and you can't use them correctly. That's a skill issue. You got to get good, brother. Like that's your problem.
Yeah. Tighten up.
Well, gentlemen, I hate to do this, but I am going to have to tap
You're
out
good.
here.
I get that.
Just
I
call me
think-
John Moxley because I'm getting choked out quick.
Yeah, I get that. And this is
Yeah.
actually this is probably a good time to just wrap this up because we have gone
Marathon, buddy.
a marathon. We have gone 2 hours. I'm going to actually have to edit this or pay somebody to edit this down to
Yeah.
or just make this 2 podcasts. But I really thank everybody that's been on here, especially you two being the MVPs of the first pilot episode of the fucking pregame.
This is fun, man.
Love it.
This is
We've
lot
had
of
a
fun.
great time. This is going to happen. Maybe not immediately. Oh, thank you. Maybe not immediately, but this is the plan is to do this once a week. Fridays, 7
Love
p.m.
it.
Get on here, stream, talk, shoot some shit, have some drinks and some snacks, and get everybody ready for the weekend.
Beautiful.
You guys want to do some last minute plugs before we drop off? Go for it.
Yeah, okay. I do the Skewered Universe podcast. That is a movie review podcast. We do it slightly different. We do it interstitial style. We watch a movie, 15-minute increments, then come back and kind of give our real-time thoughts on the movie. So you can check that out at skeweredhead.com or head over to Podbean, and we're on every podcatcher that you can find. Also on Saturdays, I do a live show called Tales from the Podcast. And right now, if you're a kid of the 90s, we're doing every season of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh,
Nice.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing that.
Okay.
And we also have a video game.
Have you
Tales
done
from
the
Podcast.
big pinball
Video
episode?
game.
Have you done the big pinball episode?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, okay, I gotta get back in there.
Okay.
I gotta get back in the archives. Check that one out. That's one I still remember very nice. I didn't say it was good. I just I remember it.
But yeah, if you want to check that out, Tales from the Podcast, we're on YouTube live every Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific, so like 8 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, we got a video game too. You can go to talesfromthepodcast.com and check all that stuff out. And there's links for Skewered Universe there as well.
Oh yeah.
Heck
And
yeah.
Troubles? What did you got?
You know what, man? I mean, I plugged earlier when I was on, but I'll go ahead and do From Crockett to Chaos again. We got episode 1 with the JIMDB is the best way for me to say his handle, Jim, from the old Sickos group. Those of us that are a part of that know him. He was a freaking MVP, first ever podcast he ever done in his life, talking about the spring of 1988. We're about to do the summer of 1988, including the beautiful Tower of Doom match that old Kevin Sullivan thought of. The Great American Bash. So that is my main thing right now. I do Troubles with Weekly Wrestling every week. About lately, I've kind of made it about Collision and the goings on of AEW overall because I feel like I don't do a good enough job of breaking down Dynamite. So go listen to All Elite wrap up for that. Go listen to Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out for that. I'm on that train. I'm just starting to like give out plugs to people because it's like I can't do all this, folks.
Yeah, I could never do a wrestling podcast weekly. I just don't have,
buddy.
I stick to horror movies.
I didn't plan on doing a wrestling podcast, but this is what it's turned into. So here we are.
Right.
I just planned on doing just like, we're going to talk about like nerdy stuff, and the wrestling's part of that. But
the 666 Sickos Podcasting Network.
Sickos Podcasting Network.
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to tap out here. I will see you.
Right,
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Both.
If not on again, I'll at least be watching.
Yeah, I'm always, y'all too good. Always be invited. I'll let you know.
See you guys.
Heck yeah, man.
Take it easy.
Have a good one, guys.
All right. Thank you, everybody, so much that has tuned in. Said episode 0 of the pregame. I don't know what else to say. Like, try to do better next time. If we don't do better next time, we'll do better the time after that. If not, deal with it. Love you. Thank you. See you soon.